Episode 84 is here, everybody. How's it going? I recorded a Saturday podcast for the first time in a while. We've got 2 more coming after this. I'm recording like 3 back to back to back, 3 days in a row, so it's exciting. I had on Shinigama, aka Chris Lane, a very talented singer, songwriter, videographer. Guy does it all. It was a great podcast. Had a great time. Thank you for listening. I just went to Waffle House. Don't recommend it. They gave me like a raw cold steak, and then I was like, hey, is there any way I can get another steak? And they were like, we could give you another steak, but our steaks are frozen, so they're just like that. And I know it's kind of like you're complaining about Waffle House. You shouldn't have went to Waffle House. I get it, guys. I understand, okay? But Jesus, Waffle House, get it together. That's all I'm saying is, I asked for medium rare, and they were like, oh, well, just give them this raw, cold steak. Don't even grill it. Just fucking, I was grilled a little bit, but it was basically raw, okay? And then our server was just chilling with a pack of cigarettes, you know. I still tipped her, because I don't want to be an asshole. But, I don't really have a moral of the story. I was going to say the moral of the story is, roll with the punches, I guess. I'm going to go back, so it's not even a big deal. Like, McDonald's ruins orders all the time. People still show up. They sell the most burgers. Waffle House is kind of the same way. Like, I'm still going to get drunk, and I'm still going to show up at Waffle House eventually, But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, yeah, had a good podcast. Had a good day today. Went to a graduation party, and I ate a lot, and I drank a lot. Too much fun. Shout out to Ethan. Forgot his last name. Is it Gonzalez? That sounds right. Ethan. I don't know. My homie Brandon's little brother just graduated high school. Good guy, So, had a fun time. Congratulations, dude. Congratulations to all the graduates. And, everyone accomplishing things. It's not too hard to graduate high school, but it's still a thing, We can celebrate it. Just kind of, went through the motions and graduated. It's fine. It's no big deal, Not downplaying graduating, but it's not that. It's not like a huge deal. I'm going to stop ranting. I'm going to stop rolling and ranting. Oh, but it's Saturday at 12:31. Uploading this now. As always, thank you for listening. And as always, this podcast is sponsored by Atlas Supco. Go to atlassupco.com. Okay, it's got simple, natural, healthy ingredients, supplements. They've got pre-workout. They've got BCAAs, blockchain amino acids. Those do some things. But it's here local, fresh ingredients, simple ingredients, natural, not a bunch of stuff, you can't pronounce stuffed in there. It's all good for you. It's healthy, and it helps you with energy, and it's got creatine, and it's great. It's fantastic. I take it all the time. I take it every day when I work out, before and during the workouts. Anyway, thank you for listening. This was a great podcast. Like I said, I had Shinigama on, and he talked a lot about his life and his music career and where he's going, and he's a very smart dude. We had a very informative conversation. And I'll go ahead and play the intro. This is a song by him. This is called Okay. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. He's got a lot of music. Check him out.
You start doing podcasting?
I started doing podcasting because of, I hate these updates. Anyway, I started doing podcasting because my friend Skylar, he's a
Skylar.
comedian.
Yeah, I know Skylar.
You know Skylar Potter?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, I'm like immediately know who you're talking about because there's nobody else named Skylar in town.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that look like Skylar. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
he did a podcast, and I started doing comedy, and he was like the first comedian I met in Amarillo. So I was like, that sounds dope. I'll do a podcast. I was on his a couple times, and I was just like super awkward on it. Like I was, because I didn't
And
understand.
you're like, I'm good at this.
Yeah, I didn't understand how it works. It's like, I'll just do my own.
Yeah.
And I was super awkward on mine for the longest time.
Mm.
But it was just, and Joe Rogan was a big influence.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, like now I'm like addicted to podcasts.
Right.
Podcasts have replaced my TV viewing. So
Oh, right, yeah.
that's all I do is just,
Podcasts.
focus on comedy and
Right.
try to
Hey, you've been
book
doing
podcast.
comedy shows and stuff too, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing comedy just over 2 years in April.
That's
so,
cool. That's really cool.
it's
I have a
fun, it's
friend.
exciting.
I have a friend in El Paso, and he is like a part of a bunch of comedy things over there.
Mhm.
Like he's in a little comedy club, I guess, over there.
Nice.
And he's just trying. Well, he's a part of the scene over there, the comedy scene, and he's been asking about like comedy over here. And I was like, literally, I only know one person that does comedy in Skylar.
Oh
So,
yeah, we can connect with him.
Yeah.
We can book him a show if he wants.
Yeah,
We'll
for
promote
sure.
it.
For sure, dude. Yeah,
we
I'll
have
try to get him down here.
we honestly have a lot of good talent come through Amarillo,
Mm-hmm.
but no one really knows about it. You know?
Right.
Unless you're like part of the scene,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're in with like the bars.
I've never gone to like a
Yeah.
comedy show
because
here in
you
town.
kind of you have to go out of your way to find the art in
Uh-huh,
Amarillo,
yeah.
and that's a thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
You know, because
we'll talk about
you've
it.
got experience. You know, musician out here. But yeah, I'll go ahead and start recording. I'm here with. You want me to introduce you to Shinigama? Is that
Sure.
say that correctly?
Yeah, you can call me Christopher Lane,
Christopher
aka
Lane. All right.
Shinigama.
How do you say it? Say it for me.
Shinigama.
Shinigama. Okay, I said that
Yeah.
right.
Did we start recording already?
Just felt weird. Yeah, I just started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
So I'm here with Chris Lane, Shinigama, musician. I've listened to his music. What would you categorize like your genre as? Because it seems like it goes a lot of directions,
It goes a lot of directions.
and I can see
I
like
don't really have like one direction in life, so it just
Mhm.
relates to music like that.
that's awesome. Because I noticed I was taking notes because the way like the last album you dropped. I haven't listened to your whole discography, but it shifts. You know, like
Yeah.
it feels kind of hip hop. Like when I first heard you, I was like, oh, this is a hip hop guy.
Right.
But then like you get into it and like you do the screaming. Like I kind of feel like
Right.
I can hear like some, Alice in Chains type rock. Like
Okay,
so
okay,
that
yeah.
type of vibe. But then I can hear like what's that guy's name? That Lil Peep.
Lil Peep,
or
yeah,
like,
sure, yeah.
that type of Good Charlotte.
Well, I
that
mean,
type of,
if it has a guitar track on it,
Mhm.
it has mad Little Peep vibes.
oh nice,
That's what
nice.
I've learned.
But then you had that song that just came out of nowhere with the country.
Oh right,
And
yeah.
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dang, like your album
really-
is like really a journey.
I
Like, it
really
goes
want to
lot-
do a music video for that one. I feel like it's like the time.
Nice.
I want to
yeah.
do it.
And your music videos were cool as well. Like I watched 2 of them because you
Mm-hmm.
tagged me in the last one you dropped.
I probably tagged you a bunch of times.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's probably
That's the
a
way to do it,
frequent
man.
thing. That's the way I do it. That's the way I've
That's
always
smart.
done it.
I need to go out to one of your shows. Do you have any shows coming up?
Yes, on the 23rd of June, we're playing with a deathcore band called Kill and some other bands. I'm actually getting the vocalist of Kill to do some guest vocals on
Nice.
one of my tracks. It's just I actually want to start experimenting, doing more of that kind of stuff, mixing the metal style with the hip hop and like
Mhm.
getting actual vocalists of well-known bands to like jump on my tracks and stuff like that. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, that's super dope. Collaborating's cool.
Mhm.
Like I've had like several like musicians on,
Mm-hmm.
and then I've seen them work together, and I'm just like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Right. It's like you thought the Avengers was the best team up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's like just like the Avengers. It's like
Mhm.
Iron Man and Captain America dropped an
Right.
album.
exactly. I mean, that sounds pretty dope, actually.
It does. It really does. But before we get too far into a wormhole, just give the listeners like kind of a background, like where you're from, how you got started, how you got into the music when you decided to take it as serious as you do.
You say before we get into the wormhole, I mean, you asked me a very vast question. Like,
Or just you could just
I
do like
guess
a brief summary.
A brief summary, I guess, would be music specifically. I started making music because I was coding websites, and one of my friends, he liked this local band in California, and he wanted me to make a fan site for them, and I knew what I was doing when it came to that, so I made a fan site and a forum, and it just got this whole scene of, like, it was electro music, and it got this whole scene of the electro scene to come in, and they just were making music and collaborating, and it was just so interesting to me. I was like, I need to try to do this. I really want to be involved. And so I started making EDM, electro type. It turned into really like classical mixed with like hip hop, like classical instruments with hip hop. And after that, I joined a Christian metalcore band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my dad's a pastor. I grew up in church, and so it was a natural progression for me to, like, I mean, I already loved metal and everything, so
what was
getting something into that.
the name of the band?
It was called Mariah. And
Nice.
yeah, it was like five big Mexican dudes and just me, a little white guy. It was very strange.
Were you the lead singer, lead vocals?
No, I actually played keyboard because that's what I was really, because I led praise and worship for my dad's church, and so I learned a guitar, and then I learned piano, and then drums and bass. I learned all the instruments doing that, and then
Wow.
I just took the keyboard and composing my music way back in the day, and just took that to a metalcore Christian band or whatever, doing a bunch of just holding one note down for a breakdown or something. It was just it was fun times, and then it turned into kind of more being like a vocalist, like a backup vocalist, like a screaming vocalist, and from there I started joining a bunch of bands left and right. In Amarillo, I really started making bands, and that's when I started producing music, like recording bands and stuff, and got into that for a while, and then it just, I don't know, it just led to here. I mean, after a bunch of bands and being vocalist in a bunch of bands, I just got tired of having to rely on a bunch of people, and I just wanted to do it myself. And so last year, in August of last year, I finished up this like instrumental EP that I had done, and I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna do my vocals over it, because I'd never done vocals on my own tracks.
And that was just a year ago?
That was just a year ago. Yeah,
Wow.
that was in August. And so I was just taking all those influences, all those years, and then just throwing it into my music, mixing with my, the music that I grew up making, so that's where I am now.
That's badass. That's a great story.
Thank you.
I was talking to a friend actually last night, and I was just thinking, like, all the great, like, musicians I know, maybe not all of them, but a large majority of musicians I know,
Like personally?
the really good ones, yeah. Like
David Bowie?
Like they came, no, I don't know David Bowie. I might meet him one day, but
one day, no matter, I don't know, it just matters on where you go, I guess, I don't know.
yeah, it depends on where he's at, But no, they, a lot of musicians, they seem to have like a background, like playing in a church.
Oh,
like
right,
a lot of good musicians are like, yeah, I used to play in a church band.
Right.
Like, really? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and they're usually Mexican. That I found out, and I just
Catholics.
I say that because I was in the band with a bunch of them, and it's just like they could all play instruments, so they could play literally any instrument that you would put in front of them. Like they would never play they could never play like a ukulele. They never played a ukulele in their life, and they would be just going at it just easily, in the first 10 minutes.
Just going ham on it.
Yeah, they're just
I'll
incredibly
eventually.
incredibly talented.
That's awesome.
Talented, yeah. Just natural.
I mean, it sounds like you were too. How many instruments did you say you played?
I guess it's like 4. I guess. It's not like I play them like expertly or anything like that. It's just I get by.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact that you even attempt them,
right? Yeah.
Like I got a guitar like when I was probably in like second grade, and I tried to play "Mary Had a Little Lamb," but I broke one of the strings, and that was the end of my guitar career. Like it was.
Just gave up so quick.
I did. Same with skateboarding. I got a skateboard one year for Christmas, and I took it down the sidewalk, and it just. It's like, oh, this is okay, but I don't want to fall.
Right. Right. Yeah. I grew up skateboarding, and rollerblading and scootering and BMX riding. I did it all because that's all me and my friends at my apartment complex would do. Like we, because for one, I was homeschooled my entire life.
Oh, nice.
So
do you? Well, I mean, go ahead. I'll ask after.
Okay. Yeah, I was homeschooled my entire life, so I didn't really have a lot of friends like from school. So the friends that I did have were in my apartment complex, and so we would build ramps and stuff, and we would skate and rollerblade and do all of this other stuff. And so yeah,
That's dope.
I know about that life.
Do you still skateboard or rollerblade?
I don't, and I think it's a good idea if I just like stop myself before I do try to do that again, because I didn't break a bone throughout that entire time,
good.
and I feel like that's a good record to keep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I've never broken a bone in my whole life.
Got in and got out.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't broken a bone either. I broke my nose once, but you can't really do anything about that. You just have
Right,
to, like,
yeah.
Your nose is going to be swollen for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think I broke my pinky toe, but you can't do anything about that either. So
Right, yeah.
just
I was like, I think I've broken every bone in my body, but you just gotta have to deal with it.
yeah, just lay down for a little bit. You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Shake it off. But no, you said, I was just gonna say, there's a big I don't know if you see all the skaters around town. It seems to be like a big thing in Amarillo. I actually had a guy on, Austin Thomas, AT Loco on Instagram. He's got 727 skateboards. I had him on. Super cool dude, but seems to be a big group of skaters around here.
Yes, I think if it's the same person that you're talking about, I'm pretty sure it's the same person. Does he work at Zoomies? No? Or would you know?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. Well, there was a guy that I messaged, and I'm pretty sure that's the skateboard team that he has. It's one of it, like, I don't know if you know them, like Christian Van Note and some of the Kloss brothers. You know the Kloss brothers? Okay, well they're in there, I believe. And if they're not, and they hear this, I'm sorry. I thought you skateboarded. But I messaged him a while back, and I just want to get involved with the skate community. And he hit me up, or he noticed me when I was in Zoomies, and I didn't realize that was him. And he started talking to me. He's like, "Hey, we're the ones that were talking on Instagram, and so we want to do some skate shows, like, and mix it with hip hop, because I don't think those two things have been messed around with in a long time."
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
like you performing while they're just
like doing like hip hop, more hip. I mean, you can get punk bands, and that's pretty normal. It's pretty standard here.
Kind of cliche, for lack of a better word.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that would be really fun, and since I grew up in that kind of culture and that scene, it would be really fun for me to kind of do something like that and get involved with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd love to film them too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and how long you've been doing music your whole life? Have you been doing like videography for about the same amount of time?
No. So, well, video editing I've done since I was a kid. Since I got AOL internet, on a Windows 98 computer, and all we had was Windows Movie Maker, like the first ever Windows Movie Maker. And
shout out to dial-up.
Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to make. I saw like this. It's like an anime music video, and I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. Which, I mean, I only lived for like 10 years, but you get it. And I was like, I want to make one of those. And so I would spend like, it would be like an entire day or day and a half to download one AMV on a dial-up connection.
Wow.
Like 50 megabytes or something, you know. And I would cut that down and put my own music from like a CD that I had ripped on my computer. And I started like making anime music videos when I was like 11 or 12. And thinking back on that, that's 18 years ago now.
That's incredible. And
it was just such a different world back then. But since then, I've just always like experimented with video editing and stuff. I used to play Tony Hawk Pro Skater religiously.
Great game.
So yes, the whole thing was just amazing for me. I would get online, and I was very involved in the online community on that, and we would record ourselves. I would record myself through a VCR, and then I had a capture card that would go from my VCR to my my computer.
Wow.
And then
I didn't know that technology existed. That's like pre-YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't. I don't think it was necessarily completely pre-YouTube. No, it was around.
Mm-hmm.
It was around that era of YouTube first starting up. I was on.
Mm-hmm.
I got on YouTube eventually, but
that was that was before YouTube was even what it
exactly.
is now.
I mean, like when I first started doing it, it was like uploading it to like freewebs.net, and like I had to, host it through something like that, and it was terrible. It took forever to load or something, and you would actually have to download the video yourself. You couldn't just like host it on a website like YouTube.
I see.
If you want to see somebody's video, you have to download it, and but like something like that,
So
I
you
would
really gotta like that person or that
What?
video to download that whole.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're in that community, like you want to be involved, and so you would just download all of them. And there was like one guy I remember, he had downloaded everybody's videos like for forever. He had like a database, and like when we lost everything, over time, with YouTube and things like that, and websites shutting down, and you just didn't have access to like with the videos that you uploaded once ago, like 5 years ago. This dude just like had a database of all the ones that he had downloaded over the years, and he just uploaded all of them. There was like a few of mine on there, and I was just
sick.
like, wow, that's awesome that he went out of his way to do something like that.
That's badass.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah! Shout out to that dude.
Yeah, whoever he is.
That's crazy to think about, that you could just upload a video and it disappear forever.
Right.
Oh, wrong website.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, so you started that at 12.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's just video editing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took that to I was just doing that through just a little bit every, I would go back to it and leave it and go back to it and leave it and go back to it. And I think it was, well, now it's been 3 years. Mm-hmm. And 3 years ago, I got a job at KMR Local 4 News.
Nice.
And it was funny because they interviewed me, and their interview was just me sitting down, and they're like, "Do you understand what's going on right now?" Because they were showing me After Effects and Premiere and everything. And I had used After Effects before. I'd done some stuff on After Effects. I'd made some lyric videos. I'd worked with 3D before.
And that was all, like, you didn't have to take classes for that? That was
no. It's just
stuff
like,
interested you?
No, I just stuck up in my room and just teaching myself things.
That's legit.
Yeah, that's just how it was back in the day, especially when you're homeschooled your entire life.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta. That's. I think I was gonna ask you that, the benefits of being homeschooled, or the pros and cons.
The benefits, I think, would be, and it's just different. It's just different for any different kids,
Yeah,
right?
like it can't be specific.
Some
'cause everyone's
kids,
got different
exactly,
parents.
because some kids react to isolation different than other kids, and it was definitely not an extreme case for me. Like I said, my mom, my dad, they let me go outside and play with the kids, and we do all kinds of things. I mean, like, it wasn't to the point like where like I could just leave and just go anywhere. This is back when I lived in Fort Worth, Texas, so it was a lot less safe than it is here, but they wouldn't let me do stuff like that. But it was as long as I could communicate with people, it was fine. Like,
yeah,
I didn't have any problems communicating with people. That's good. Is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, because that's normally the stereotype is that homeschool kids are weird and they don't know how to talk to people and all this other stuff. I actually had a conversation with Hayden Pedigo about it one time, because he grew up homeschooled. He was homeschooled his entire life, and he's a very like outspoken person, and he and when you talk to him in person, he's just like so full of life, and he's just awesome. Very blunt. I
haven't reached out to him yet, but I'd like to have him on here.
Yeah, you should definitely reach out to him. That would be really cool. I'll tell him to do it if he has any reservations. But when I talked to him about it, it came to me, and I was like, oh, I understand why we are the way that we are, because I'm similar to him in that way. I'm just like, I like push my personality onto people, right? And like I can meet you in like the first like 5 minutes, and I'll be like throwing jokes at you and things like that, and shooting the shit.
So it's like, yeah, you can absolutely cuss.
I just always wanted to ask that if I was ever on a show or something. Can I cuss? And they always act like they can't. Or
I've
they
said
don't
horrible
know.
things on
Yeah.
here. So we had Andy Justice on the podcast, and that's probably the only clean episode I've ever had.
Really?
Just because we were just trying to be like really professional.
Oh,
like,
right.
Like he's a professional news anchor.
He is literally the funnest person.
Yeah, he's super
He's
cool.
so fun, dude.
I can't believe he agreed to come on. I was
yeah,
like,
that is
serious?
really cool. Yeah, he is really cool. He always comes in, and we have a little basketball, a goal, or a hoop, a goal. I don't sports.
Do you still work at Channel 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he comes in there. He just shoots balls or whatever, and
super down there.
Always come in for 10.
Yeah.
And he's funny.
He's got a lot of wisdom too.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah. The dude has been doing it for a very long time, and he's been in every nook and cranny in the news world. So
it's
really good.
He had great advice. Like everything he said, it was just like I need to be taking notes. Like
right.
I'm glad we're recording this conversation.
He's like giving you advice you didn't even ask for.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I feel like I need to take notes.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm in school right now.
Do I need to pay you after this?
Right.
But no, that's cool. But from what the homeschooled, the people I know, the adults that I know that have been homeschooled, they seem to be like, well functioning members. They don't seem to be like,
right,
afraid to socialize, anything like that.
And to finish the thought that I had before we started talking about the great Andy Justice.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're held back so long, and you're isolated for so long, it's like you're like a caged animal, and when you like let them out, they just go free, and they're a little bit more, exuberant than
more outgoing.
More outgoing than the normal person.
More willing to interact.
It's the opposite of what you would think it would be.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Amish people when they go on Rumspringa. Is that what it's called? I don't know.
I don't know.
When they hit a certain age, they're allowed.
I don't have any Amish friends.
Oh,
it's a weird.
You have an Amish beard though.
Oh yes.
Almost.
Well, at least you didn't say Duck Dynasty beard. No, like the worst.
It could go either way depending on your hat.
The worst insult. The worst. And I say it with those quotation marks that you can't see, but the worst insult I've ever gotten, and I've gotten it like 3 times. They're like, "Keemstar, what are you doing?" Mm-hmm. You know Keemstar?
Who's that?
You don't know who Keemstar is?
Is that a YouTube?
Yeah, he's a
celebrity?
YouTuber, and he's known as the guy who talks about a bunch of drama on YouTube. He's like, "Let's get into the news." I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's like kind of hated on YouTube.
Really?
I was like, I do not want to be known as Keemstar.
That's funny.
So it's pretty funny, but yeah.
There was I don't know anything about YouTube celebrities. There was a guy named James Charles, I think. I don't know if
yeah.
But he was in a bunch of trouble, and I had no idea what was happening.
Don't even get me started.
No idea.
Because it was like a reality show. I didn't. Okay, so I had heard about him, and I knew about him, and everybody was like all about him. They were like, "Wow, he's so revolutionary. He's just changing the game," because he was like on the cover of like Cosmopolitan or something like that, So everybody's freaking out, and I was like, "That's cool." Then I started hearing bad things. Everybody's like, "Man, I hate him. He did this and this and that," and I was like, "Okay." And then they stopped that, and then they started liking him again, right?
Really?
And then
That's confusing.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, what had happened? And then this video from the makeup artist Toddy came out, and it's like 50 minutes long. And my girlfriend, I turned it on in the morning. I was like, what is this all about? Like, everybody's like talking about it online. And I start that video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch this whole thing, because I was just like so invested, because I want to know what this dude did, because I wasn't keeping up with the entire time. It was like watching a series on Netflix, like from episode 1 to like binging it, because I watched that video, and then like it just like a wormhole just all into all these other different videos of about the drama.
Like an 8-hour video?
No. Oh. It's just like that was 50 minutes, and then the next one was like 20 minutes of backstory, and then this dude's reply, and then this person who's involved's reply. You can
get deep into that stuff, man.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I felt fully invested in the whole situation. I had my opinions and everything. I was ready to go. I was like, all right, I'm ready for the conversation. Let's go. So
that's funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
No, yeah, it is crazy. Like YouTube celebrities, because they're doing extremely well, but they're in this pocket.
It's definitely a bubble.
Yeah, it's a bubble, like where they like 50 million people know them.
Yeah,
but you don't know those 50 million people. It's like it's crazy.
It's very strange. You know what's getting even crazier, and this is kind of off topic, and this is gonna sound crazy, but TikTok. TikTok is insane right now,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like it's insane that and I am harsh on myself about it because it's like, why am I not taking advantage of this right now? Because
Absolutely.
it's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for example,
I've had that same thought.
There's this guy, he's not even that big of an artist. I think his name is Savage Gasp. Okay, he's like kind of in the scene that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
He made this song. It's a good song. Pretty decent song. I don't know what he did to do this, but somebody made a TikTok using his song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another person made one, and then another person made one, and then another person made one. Okay, right now there is over 300,000 individual videos made by individual people using that song.
Are you serious?
And then like you go to the top one, and it's like 3-point-something million views on it.
Oh my goodness.
And you just go crazy down the list, and then it's still like 300,000 here, 300,000. It's like that, like, what is it, like 10, I think it's like a 10-second, excerpt of the song has been listened to and heard at least over 500 million times.
Yeah.
Based on those numbers. That's insane.
That is completely insane.
That's crazy. I mean, it's probably in the billions, honestly, at that point. Really, it probably is. Because we're talking about 300,000 videos.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was just floored. And then, like, you go and see his plays and stuff, and it went from, I think it was 800,000, and, like, when it first started, before it went up viral or whatever, and then now it's like over 2 million.
Wow.
Like easily. And I'm sure it'll just grow from there.
Yeah.
But that's what happened with Old Town Road.
Internet's a crazy place.
That's the reason that Old Town Road blew up the way it did.
Yeah, I felt like that Old Town Road almost blew up ironically,
Yeah. it was because, and it's crazy because he's such an interesting story. And I'm very fascinated by his whole story and like what he's doing now, because he made that as a joke. I remember watching the original video and it only had like 100,000 views or something like that. And in the description it said, I say only 100,000 views.
I catch myself doing that too.
Yeah. He had a pretty decent following, but 100,000 views is pretty crazy. But anyway, he had about that much, and he says in there, he's like, yeah, I made this song as a joke, what do you guys think? Whatever. It's a funny video. And because he makes regular music, like he makes regular hip hop, and he does all different kinds of other stuff.
Because I checked him out on Spotify. He had like 3 songs on there.
Yeah.
And the other 2 weren't.
No, they weren't the same. Yeah, exactly.
Songs.
Now he's taking them all off. He's taking
okay.
those off now. It's just only Old Town Road. And that's my
Interesting.
point, is that it started out as this joke, and then now that it's been number 1 on the Billboard charts for over 10 weeks now.
Yeah.
That's insane. He bought Billy Ray Cyrus a Maserati.
Really?
Yeah. Just gave him a Maserati.
Holy shit.
That's how much money that kid's making right now.
Oh my goodness.
And he's got this like whole get up, like he wears the cowboy hat, he wears like the boots, and the he has like a jacket with like diamonds on it. It says Old Town Road on it back, and I'm just like, dude, I wish you didn't do that. And like people were like, well, no, he's just doing his thing, but that's he's taking it seriously and everything. And I'm just like, I feel like if he didn't play the part, if he didn't play the stereotype, he would be taken so much more seriously, and he would go to way more bigger places. I feel
might
like
be true. Yeah, that's a good.
like
a good
if
point.
he didn't act like it was like a joke, then he wouldn't be dressing like that. Because that's not him.
Definitely.
And
yeah, and now he's gonna have to keep up that.
He's gonna have to keep that
persona.
Up. He's gonna have to keep up that persona, and like I hope he doesn't, but like it looks like it's gonna be like a one-hit wonder.
Or he's gonna have to recreate himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a struggle as well. But yeah, that's interesting with the one-hit wonders. We
don't really see that a lot anymore.
I was just thinking about the Catch Me Outside girl.
Right.
She started a whole career just acting crazy on Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And it's kind of impressive.
It's super impressive. Like I get a lot of shit because like I support her. I'm like, and they're like, why do you support her? She's like, she's crazy. I'm like, that's why I support her. Like
she
she's
secured the bag.
Have you ever watched her videos? Have you ever watched her videos where she's just reacting to people reacting to her videos?
No, that's hilarious.
It's hilarious, dude. And she
Troll
just
the
goes
trolls.
off. She goes off on them.
I feel like Donald Trump's gonna do that after he gets out of office.
Oh right, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He just starts doing react videos. It's Trump reacts to all the videos that he didn't want. It's Trump reacts to things that aren't Fox News.
I'd watch. I just want to know what goes through that guy's mind, like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know,
that would be very interesting.
I'd love to just listen to a podcast he's on.
Right.
You know, because it could go any direction.
I was watching. My girlfriend was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and there was like a moment where they were talking about the next episode, and Kim Kardashian's like, just because he has an opinion doesn't mean he's mentally ill. You know, talking about Kanye. And I was like, I wonder if Trump's wife says the same thing, right? He's not mentally ill.
That's the thing,
you
too.
know, he's not crazy.
Does she even like him? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of mysteries there.
Yes. That's for a movie to be made about, like, in the next, like, 10 years.
Dude, there has to be a movie.
There has to be tons of movies.
He's too crazy for there not to be, like, you know, maybe a hit TV show in the next 5 years.
Right.
I don't know.
Did you see his new haircut? Or his new style?
No.
His hairstyle? He's, like, slicking it back. Or whatever.
Was it not
it
always?
Looks crazy.
Oh, no, because it's usually... Okay, yeah. I see what you mean. No, I haven't seen that. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's very weird.
I saw someone edited a photo of what he would look like bald with, like, a goatee.
I was like, do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it, man. Like, that sounds badass. All of a sudden, he becomes... It's Breaking Bad Trump, you know, like...
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It's crazy how we've become a meme.
Yeah. Oh, memes are everything right now, right? We were just talking about Old Town Road, and that's a meme that turned into, like, you know, a top hit, right? And then you think about these artists that started off as jokes, not even artists at that time. They're just like memes. They're like Filthy Frank, for example. Now he's Joji. Have you ever checked his music out?
Yeah, I've listened to Joji. I didn't know he was Filthy Frank previously.
Yeah, that's Filthy Frank.
I've never heard of that. Filthy Frank.
You never heard of Filthy Frank?
No, I might need to look into that.
You would know it if you saw it. It's a dude in a a pink bodysuit, and he acts crazy. Like you ever see the videos where he's like, it's like a dude pointing at a gigantic clock, and he's like, "It's time to stop." Have you seen that?
Maybe. I don't know.
That GIF? Well, that's him. Anyway, but he was a YouTube star that, and all he did was just make jokes and act insane. It's, you know, those videos where it's like how to something, and it's just like a dude like throwing a bunch of shit on the floor, and it's just like bam, bam,
oh
bam,
yeah,
bam,
so
you
they're
know?
like intentionally
It's
doing
like
it wrong.
It's like that dude as a person. That's what Filthy Frank was. It was insane.
Really?
Yeah, and now he's like a serious artist that people take seriously.
That's wild.
And is actually a big inspiration of mine.
Oh yeah.
And Oliver Tree is another one. Have you listened to Oliver Tree?
I haven't.
He's another one that started off as like this meme and this comedian online or whatever, and then he takes himself seriously and starts making music and stuff.
That's cool.
And I relate to that because before I started making music, Shinigama was a meme page. I started that. I guess now it's over 3 years ago, because one of my old guitarists he made a comment about one of our old bands, and we had a band page or whatever, and I started making memes with breakdowns and stuff like that, and he's like, "Stop posting memes, I want it to be taken seriously." And I was like, well, the memes are the reason we have likes. And he's like, no, it's because of our music, you know. And I was like, all right, I'll prove it to you. And so I made Shinigama. And when I made Shinigama, I started doing that. I started making these metal memes. It'd be like, you know, when the breakdown hits or whatever, and it'd be like some funny video or whatever, and it'd be like a breakdown, and I got that page from, you know, 0 likes to 150,000 in like it was like 2 years, probably 2 years.
150,000?
150,000.
Wow.
And but it came to a point where it just became toxic, and I was creating memes and videos, and I was making AMVs also, and I was doing like favors for bands, and I was very into the metal community. Like bands would come over here, like metal bands would come over here, and they'd be like, "Shinigama's here? Like they would know me. It was it was surreal. And but it came to the point where it just became too much. And then I went through a bad breakup, and I was just like, I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna sell it. I sold it for like $250.
Really?
Like very cheap.
I thought you were gonna say like 250,000.
You're right. and it was funny because no, I wish, dude. But I just didn't care. I came to the point where I didn't care. It just didn't mean anything to me anymore. But the thing that did mean something to me was the name. And the guy who bought it, he wanted to change or he wanted to keep the name, and he was asking for the Instagram or whatever. I was like, nah, you own the page, change the page name or whatever. I own the name, you know? And so he changed the page name or whatever, and I made a new Shinigama page. It's like 15,000 now. So the people that liked me from before, that were down with what I was going to do next, came over, and I still have people, you know, that, you know, give me shit about it, you know, doing music and not, you know, doing the normal metal stuff that I used to do. But it's so much more calm, and even though it's not like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of shares, and, you know, like celebrities aren't sharing my, you know, posts, you know, it's quiet and it's nice, and, you know, I know that it's real support, you know, and that's what really counts, I think, to me. So
that's extremely interesting.
It's way cooler now.
So you were like a internet celebrity for a bit,
right?
That's awesome.
Kind of. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's not. It's hard to say like celebrity because it's like only a certain like clique knows you. A
celebrity in a
certain scene, I guess. Yeah.
In a bubble.
Yeah. In the bubble, exactly. Yeah.
But that's crazy. That's cool. So you haven't been able to replicate. Did you just stop doing those type of videos?
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes I do them every once in a while. Very rarely though, because I just want to be taken seriously for the music instead. Okay. You know. And I kind of give them what they want, you know, because they enjoyed I would make like heavy, I called them heavy ass themes, and I would make them about like anime characters.
I've seen those videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and I would be screaming and doing it over like instrumentals and stuff, and writing songs like that, kind of like a weird parody way, and so people who enjoy my vocals and doing stuff like that, they attach to when I do stuff like in Mask Off where I'm screaming and stuff like that. And so they like that stuff. They like that element of my music, and just not everybody likes the other stuff, but that's okay. You know, not everybody has to like my music.
That's true.
So,
I mean, you do what's in your heart, do what feels good to you.
Yeah. So
that's really cool. So what made you decide to start doing vocals? Because you said you've only been doing vocals for like a year. Or when you decided to go on your own, go solo?
What it made me, I needed to get a lot of stuff out. It was just like I said, I went through a bad breakup, and I was just like, I have a lot of, you know, emotions I need to get out, and a lot of feelings I need to get out, and so I couldn't just do it through music, you know, just the instrumentals anymore. So I was just like, I need to, you know, sing something or scream or something. And so I just started doing it, and now here we are. That's
awesome. Yeah, music has that therapeutic, you know, spiritual element to it.
A lot of people look at it like as a chore, like it's a problem. Like oh, I can't do music because, you know, I'm depressed, or, you know, I'm angry, or I'm sad. It's like, that's when you should do music. Like, use it as an outlet. I think it's the perfect outlet to do it. I mean,
it's a great outlet.
I think it's more of it's hard to get out of bed, you know, and do something like that, you know.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know my girlfriend walked in.
It's hard to get out of bed and you know, do something like that when you're depressed. I think that's what it comes down to. But I used to use it. Somebody brought that up, and I was like, dude, use music as your punching bag. That's your punching bag. I just let loose on it.
I like listening to like the heavier music, like the you know, not your. I mean, I can't say your genre because I don't know what genre you landed, but the screaming, like I like.
Screaming,
I'm big like on Korn and like, Slipknot.
I recently did a Korn cover.
Really?
Did you see that? Yeah,
no, I need to look into that.
Yeah, it's "Make Me Bad." That's my favorite Korn song.
Oh yeah.
And so I did like a screaming cover or whatever, like a heavy metal version of it.
But yeah, I like really cool. I feel like when you get into that like anger type of vibe with the music, it kind of, you get to access a different part of your brain, kind of, and it's like it's healthier than going and
Mhm.
punching drywall like Kyle would.
Right.
But
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I actually brought that. That subject was brought up because I'm in this group called the Emo Trap group, and there was a post that I made, and I was like, because it just came across to me because I saw a bigger artist, and he was just getting mad at these like negative comments, and he was just going off on them and blocking them.
Those will kill you if you look into them.
Exactly. And I went on there and I was like, anger is probably the worst trait that you can showcase like online. And
Absolutely.
People got confused. They thought that I was talking about like in music. And I was like, no, you can express anger in music, but you don't need to express anger like that on the internet.
Yeah.
It's not a good look.
It's a big turn off.
It's a huge turn off. Like, and I just it came to a point where I was just like, I hope they find some kind of peace where they don't have to be they don't have to worry about the negativity like that. Because I mean, like, it was just recently I got this guy. He was like, I don't know what it was about this, because I've talked about this like multiple times, but this guy, because this rarely happens, this guy says, I just wanted to let you know, or I don't know how else to say this, but your music is trash. And
I don't know how else to say this.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how else to say this, but your music's trash.
I don't know how to not be a complete dickhead.
And he says, I'm not trying to be a dick, I'm just being 100. And I was like, what? And so I just said, and so I didn't want to, I could express anger, and then just go off on the dude. And so, but instead I was like, I'm going to check out this dude's music, because he was another artist. And I listen to a ton of artists, and I try to give his positive, like, good feedback to everybody. You know,
absolutely.
Because I have a lot of experience with it, so it's just like I want people to learn and get better and stuff like that. And so I enjoy helping, and so even though I did it out of spite, I was like, I would get a better mic and look into like learning how to mix a bit better, And I said, and if and you might get somewhere with a less shitty attitude, Yeah. And he went off on me, like 3 comments, like just like long essays.
And that makes him the weakest link,
right? But then I instead of replying on there, I DM'd him, and I was like, I'm saying this as an artist to an artist. You have to get a better attitude. And he's like, fuck you, blah blah blah, and I was like, no, seriously, if you had responded with, because he had eventually told me what his actual criticism was in those long things or whatever, when he was going off on me in the middle of it. He told me what it was, and I was like, if you had told me that, like, I would have been fine. Like, that's cool. Like, I love feedback. Like, I get feedback from people who like my music and don't like my music, but when you just go on there and you try to bring somebody down, it doesn't make you look good. I said, you need to be making connections, and you're making disconnections, dude. Absolutely. And he was like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, sometimes I just don't know what I'm saying when I'm drunk, and, I apologize or whatever. And he was like, you got that grind going on, and I respect that and all this other stuff. I may not like your music, but I respect you. And now we're cool, but it was just like, dude, calm down. Like, it's going to be okay.
It's the internet, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You get on the internet and you just get more bold because you're talking through a computer.
Right. And it's just like,
and then you meet that person in face to face, and like, I was just being an idiot. Dude.
Exactly.
Like,
of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, now I'm going to deem you.
It's not who I am.
But I talked about it today, actually, because I started doing some YouTube videos. And I was like, okay, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm going to do it. And so I recorded some YouTube videos. And I edited the first one and uploaded it to YouTube today. And I talked about that. And I said, it's just a place of insecurity. He looks at, because he didn't have very, big numbers, and he wasn't getting a lot of interactions and stuff like that. He's trying to push out his music, I can tell, but nobody's really reacting to it, and or listening to it. And so he probably sees something like me, and he doesn't like my music, which is completely fine. But he's like, what is it about this dude? That gets him attention.
That I don't have.
I don't like his music, so. I'm doing everything in my power to make my music work. What is it? What is he doing? Like, what makes him so special?
He must be buying followers.
Yeah. And that's it's so unhealthy.
No, it is.
It's so unhealthy to think like
especially in the age of the internet, where there's room for everyone.
Right, exactly.
There's room
yeah.
for literally everyone.
Yeah.
Like my grandma could drop a mixtape tomorrow.
Right.
And go viral.
Completely.
Like,
She probably would.
she
Honestly,
might. Yeah, I'll tell her. I'll send a mic over.
Yeah, I mean that's but that's the truth. I mean, because if you're because a lot of people like tried to be somebody else, and they like, oh well, like the key to success is to be like this artist that I really like, and it's actually the opposite. It's you need to be as far away from that person as possible because everybody already has that person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we already had. Like what you said, like a little Peep, for example, right? Mm-hmm. We already had one of those, and now he's gone. But we have the history of his music, and we know that sound, and we'll have it forever, mm-hmm. right? But like if you try to act like you're him and try to do the same kind of music, I mean, there's a limit to it, right? Mm-hmm. You try to copy him completely. It's like you're not going to get very far because mm-hmm. They'll just be like, oh, he's just rip off of this guy, of this artist, And
that guy, Lil Peep, actually has a decent catalog for how little.
Yeah, he
was actually there.
Like, I think he has 3 albums or something like that. And it's crazy because I bring that up because I recently brought up another artist. His name is Kill Station, and I swear, dude, this dude starts singing, and I had listened to his music before, but it did not come off to me like this bad. But I was like, he sounds exactly like Lil Peep. Like it sounds exactly like it. And I actually showed my girlfriend. She was like, I was like, do you think this sounds like Lil Peep? She's like, that's not.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, and somebody had actually made a comment about it too. They were like, he doesn't sound like Lil Peep at all. He has a lisp or something. I was like, what? And but I was like, dude, this is how I know if it sounds just like him. If I could play that song and play a Peep song next to each other and ask somebody that doesn't know anything about it and say, is this the same artist? They would say yes. That tells me exactly what I need to know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, off topic, but yeah.
For sure. Mimicking happens. It's a form of respect, I mean, I think it works better with music than it does in comedy,
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen the documentary about Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, but he's still doing. I think he still performs. So
and now Dane Cook's into it again.
Yeah, Dane Cook's back.
Yeah, he's back and he's doing things. It sucks because whenever I started hearing all the bad stuff about Dane Cook and how he's stealing jokes and stuff, I was like, man, really? Mm-hmm. Man, who made those jokes? I thought they were fucking hilarious.
Dude, I still love his old jokes.
He was so funny.
I was listening to that in like 8th and 9th grade on MySpace.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
or
completely.
I guess 7th and 8th grade. I don't know. But
that
adolescence.
I think probably one of my favorite jokes ever is the one about the Bible. The one about the sneeze. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
what do you say when an atheist sneezes?
Yeah, and he's like, I hope he pounds you down into a paper and they print the Bible on you. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny.
That's literally happened to me before.
Really?
I was giving another comedian a ride home, and I don't know if he was a Dane Cook fan. He probably heard the joke, but I was
probably
just like,
did.
I was like, God bless you, and he goes, I'm atheist.
Fuck you, dude.
But no, he's got a lot of classics for sure.
Right.
And as far as I know, the only joke that he stole was that Louis C.K. bit with the Transformers.
Oh, okay.
Or was it Transformers? Yeah, he's gonna name his kids after Transformers. Then he's like, I'm gonna name a kid. And it was like almost identical to Louis, but other than that, like.
That's probably the only one.
Yeah, as far as
I didn't really look into that one.
I didn't either.
I remember seeing the video, the big old viral video about Carlos Mencia, and I had one more.
Yeah, Mencia did it way more blatantly.
A lot, yeah.
Because Joe Rogan was saying that he would steal someone's closer right before they went on.
Wow.
Yeah, he would close with their bit and then introduce them.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, dude, that's insane. And he just thought he could do that. He was like, I'm big enough.
Right.
No one's gonna care.
Yeah. Who's gonna care? Exactly.
Who's gonna stop me?
Right. And he was huge.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He'd been doing it a while, but no one really stood up to him until the guy that does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu who can probably murder 90% of the population.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Goes up there.
Jeez. Joe Rogan's a trip.
Yeah, I guess.
He's funny.
He's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And do you listen to podcasts at all?
Yeah. Okay. I listen to it. It just matters on who he has, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sometimes though, He'll just be talking to like one of his UFC buddies, and I was
Mhm.
like, I don't care, But like sometimes we get some guests on there, I'm just like, oh wow, I wonder what he's gonna talk to him
Yeah,
about.
I usually ignore the UFC ones
Yeah,
just because I don't have time to pay attention to the UFC as
right,
much.
and that's what they're gonna talk about probably.
But
most
I
of the
really
time.
like the people I've never heard of, like the random like psychologists and
Right.
the
I love the
climate change
dinosaur
people
dude.
and yeah, Graham
The
Hancock.
dinosaur dude is hilarious when he was like getting all mad about that kid's video on YouTube, talking about why dinosaurs didn't exist or whatever. He's like, oh, fucking let me tell you about this, and he's like, he was getting so passionate about it.
There's so many
great.
interesting people on there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get sucked into that. That takes up
Oh, I can imagine.
like my whole day.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty long too.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
what is it? Like it's like a 2-hour podcast or something like that.
And I'm like a week behind.
right. Oh wow.
Yeah, I listen at 1.5 speed because I feel more productive.
Oh wow, I never even thought about doing that. Just like I permanently have Joe Rogan and Chipmunk voice in my head.
It's just like they sound like they're like in a hurry.
Yeah. I would definitely lose track very easily. I'll be listening to a podcast or whatever at work, and one of my coworkers, she's like, "Well, I don't agree with that," and I was like, "Agree with what? What?" I wasn't listening, to something that he said. I had to like rewind it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, well, why do you feel that way?"
Yeah.
We have a conversation about it.
And that's like I don't agree with a lot of things on the podcast I listen to, but it's still
Right.
it's still interesting.
Yeah,
just
super
to see
interesting. Yeah.
why you think that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
I used to listen to podcasts a lot more, like back when it was just like you had to get them on iTunes or something like that. Like that was the only place you can get them, or where it really started. And yeah, I just kind of fell out of it for a long time. But like YouTube kind of just brought it back. It's not even like podcasts anymore. It's just like vidcast or what do you want to call
that's
it?
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So
It's interesting.
it adds a different element to it that makes it even more interesting because you can actually watch it now,
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah.
I've been planning on. I actually have a webcam. I'm just like too lazy to figure everything out. So it's just like I'll keep it audio.
It's not hard to figure out at all.
I feel like it's not. I feel like it's just a big file, right? You gotta takes
No,
longer to
not
upload.
even not even then. No, it's not even that big of a file. Like you get OBS, right, and then you get just your webcam. You can get a webcam for like $60-$70, like a really high end one. It's like shoots 4K.
Yeah, I think I've got a decent one. It's like 1080.
No, well, that's fine.
So
Yeah, and that's a super small file. That's like you probably do a podcast and you probably have like maybe like 400 megabytes at most. Not that big of a deal, really.
interesting.
That would be good.
Yeah, I'll get the camera going then.
Right, but you would have to tip two, right?
I would have to what?
You'd have to have two cameras.
Probably.
I don't know where you would set it up. I guess you could just set it up so where you can get both
Well, I can.
things.
I have two of these stands, so if I just
yeah.
have two people, I can set those up. But when I have four people, I got to figure out something
Right.
else. I can bring a shelf in here,
Yeah.
or just
Do
hire a guy to stand still.
Do you normally have like do you ever have multiple people?
Yeah, I've had more than four people. I did
Oh,
some
really?
Drunkcast episodes where it was like
Oh, really?
like 8 people, and we were just like passing mics back and
You
forth.
should get my group of artists on sometime.
What are they?
They're called
Death
the
Kids?
Death Kids, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask you about them
That would be a funny ass episode.
because I was listening to is it Potion? Is that how you
Yeah,
pronounce it?
Potion. That's my
Okay, yeah.
roommate actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Because I was getting into your music, and then I saw he was on a song or two, and then
Yeah.
I found you guys' Instagram, which hasn't been updated in a while. But
Yeah.
then I like went through the artists. And that's
yeah,
awesome.
and I produced most of his stuff.
Nice.
I think just the recent stuff that I didn't produce necessarily, like some beats I didn't produce, but all of his like main EP, I did all of that. And then there's Raimi, which he used to be called Ellis Isles, which is Jeremy Ellis. I don't know if you have him on Facebook.
Oh, I do. I mean, I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but I've seen him. I've seen him
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah, he's cool, and I've known him since he was probably 13.
That's
something
cool.
like that.
Just based on his profile picture, I was like, he looks like he does
Yeah.
something artistic.
Something artistic, exactly. No, he's he's a really interesting cat. I love that kid to death. He's like a little brother to me. They're kind of all little brothers to me. And then there's Crazy, who is now changing his name. It's gonna be Crazy, but he's gonna rename it CZ or CRZ, instead of
Get rid of the
instead
howls.
of being because trying to find crazy on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
Originally, it was like some like what do you call it? Mariachi thing guy or whatever.
See, when I think of crazy on Spotify, I think of Crazy Bone.
right,
from
Crazy
Bone Thugs
Bone.
and
But see,
Harmony.
that's with a K.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's different. Yeah, so I mean, he would have a better time probably with K. But with Crazy, just CRAZY.
That was his full name.
Yeah, it was a bad idea. But we just didn't know what to call him, and I was like, okay, well, we need to start releasing music or whatever, and so we just called him Crazy, and I was like, oh man, this was a mistake. After we started realizing it was not popping up.
Crazy Mike. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy Mike, Crazy on the mic, or something. DJ Crazy. No, but I think CRZ is gonna or CZ. Yeah, CRZ is going to be really cool.
That's interesting.
Because I mean, you have SZA.
Yeah, I was going to say
RZA.
You could do Krizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see how that works out. I think it's going to be a lot cooler.
That's super cool. How did you guys? So you guys have known each other for a long time.
Group. Christian, aka Potion, he was in a bunch of bands with me. He was a bassist and a guitarist in 2 different bands, and we became roommates. And he was tired of it, and I was tired of it. We're like, fuck bands, let's do it on our own, And I think I'd done a song I have on my first EP called Problem with Change, and I was like, hey, you want to do some vocals on this? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so when he did that, I was like, that was really cool. Let's do more of this. And now I'm gonna have you do, like I'm gonna make a beat for you or whatever. Let's do that. And so we did that and released a little music video, and it was really cool. It was like that's awesome. The start of his thing. And so now, and he just like found passion in it, Like I feel like the thing about him is he's so passionate about music. It's insane, and he wants to do it like for a living, but he just doesn't know how to make it happen. Because I mean, you're just a guitarist. Electric guitarist, and you're just a bassist. Like, where are you gonna go?
Yeah, there's no like blueprint.
Yeah, and you can't go on tour just like playing electric guitar.
You go get a music degree.
Yeah, you got to get in a band. I mean, you got to go tour
somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, but now all he literally needs is a USB drive, and he can just travel.
That's awesome.
And he has has a little bit of merch and everything. And so, and that's really what I just wanted to get all my artists that do is be able to just be on their own and be able to do it on their own and feel like they're actually like accomplishing something with their music.
That's awesome. So are you kind of like the leader of that, or is it all?
Yeah, I'm the dad.
Nice.
So I think that's why we called it Death Kids, because
you're the death father.
Shinigami is originally what my name was gonna be, but there was a band called Shinigami when I got first started trying to make a Facebook page, like when I was gonna make a meme page, and I was like, well, screw that, I don't want to be this person, be this band or whatever, and so I changed it to Shinigama, and but Shinigami means Death Reaper. It means like God of Death.
That was my next question.
Yeah, and so Death Kids, it's like they're my kids or whatever,
Nice.
So.
That's dope.
And besides, I produce all their stuff. So since I produce all their stuff, it was really like I was just like taking care of them or whatever.
That's legit. So when you were producing, are you in there like playing the instruments and laying it down and then like editing and everything?
It matters on what kind of song it is. Like I mean, sometimes we'll add some guitar. I definitely do a lot more stuff like that with Potion, and I did a lot of that with my instrumental EP. I was playing a lot of electric guitar in that and adding real drums, not like recording real drums, but like a drum simulator.
Yeah.
And but really it's all about composing to me. Like it's not like, oh, I need to play this, this complicated, piano line in, real time. I'll just compose it and however I want it to sound, and just like program it in there or whatever.
That's legit.
Yeah.
So like you have your hand in every part of your music, from the beat to the lyrics to everything.
It's all mine.
That's awesome.
Like I said, the Mask Off album has like 3 or 4 songs that aren't my beats, which is the most that I've had off of any other one. Like I've had like on my other one, it was like Heroes and Villains, I think, had like one track, no, two tracks that weren't my beats. They were good friends of mine, and then the my first EP had one. So like 90% of my stuff is all me, because like Heroes and Villains has like 20 tracks on it, and then the first EP has 7, and then Super Shinigama World has about 8, and I did all of those, and then I did like 6 of the 10 on Mask Off. So like it's most of my production, but I enjoy like having, working with other producers.
That's legit. And I know you've been making music a long time, but it seems like the Shinigama as a musician, artist, singer, songwriter is kind of just still in the infant stages, right? Because it started about a year ago.
It's not even been a year yet.
So yeah, that's fantastic for being a year in, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it feels it's one of those weird things where it feels like I'm doing a lot, but it's hard to see sometimes. You get in like a bubble.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're just like because I have to think about it. I'm like, okay, well, at the end of last year, like I looked at like my streams or whatever on like Spotify or something, and it was like 6,000 streams or whatever for the year, and I was floored. I was like, wow, I had that many. Like, that's cool to me.
That's a great number.
And especially going from like it is a real culture shock, because going from when I had the meme page, where if a video didn't get 1 million views on Facebook, it was a failure of a meme. It was like, so going from that to being excited about 6,000 times my songs being played, like I was like super stoked, and I was like, okay, well, this year, this next year is coming up, I'm just gonna double that. I was like, if I double it, I'll be happy. And now we're like sitting under, just under like 40,000 plays.
Wow, in 2 years?
And no, and
or less than
just from December to now, like December of last year to now, and so it was like
about 7
it was
months.
like, wow, well now, yeah, exactly, it's like it not only doubled, but it tripled and quadrupled, and so it's like, well, that's really cool, but now I'm like, I'm confused about what my real goal is now, like what do I need to get to now? And so
that's crazy.
Yeah, and so like now I'm like, okay, well now I need to set a new goal. It's like half of the year, so I guess 80,000.
That's insane.
Which would be great.
Yeah,
which would be great. That would be awesome. But
went from 12 to 80. That's a huge jump. Congratulations.
That would be a huge jump, but we haven't got there yet. But
even 12 to 40.
I feel like the biggest thing is just to keep on giving content.
Yeah.
On like all the time. Like I'm like, okay, well, and now I'm gonna try a different strategy of where instead of like releasing albums and hyping up albums and dropping those, I'm dropping like singles and stuff. So
that is important. I was I don't watch them closely anymore. I don't know, it might be like Instagram algorithms, but I was big on Gary Vaynerchuk for a while. I don't know.
I love Gary V.
Yeah, huge fan of that guy. But his big thing was like, if you're, trying to get noticed, push content. Yeah. Push as much content as you can. Go start a podcast and just put content out every day.
Completely.
And that's kind of been my mindset as far as like podcast goes. As far as like uploading material, which I haven't. I've kind of been slacking on uploading stand-up jokes just because I forget to record myself sometimes because I'm like so in the moment. But yeah, as far as podcast goes, I'm just trying to push these things out.
Right. And that's like
and make sure it's as quality as possible.
I heard one. I think I heard two actually. I heard the one with Tessa.
Yeah, okay. My most recent one?
Yeah, I heard that one, and then there was another one I heard. It was like the one right before that. And I was like, hey, this sounds really good.
Nick Luna.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know him?
Oh, he was Nick Luna?
Yeah.
I don't think I heard that one. I was just going in on like when I looked up the name on YouTube, it brought up a list, and so I saw it with Tessa, but I just didn't know what the other one was. But you had Nick Luna. That's great.
Yeah, he was the one right before Tessa, but it might have been. Oh, actually, that one didn't get uploaded to YouTube. I still need to figure out why, but for some reason,
but Nick Luna's in it.
Yeah, he's in it. It got uploaded everywhere but YouTube, and I was just like, what happened?
Nick Luna. Funny story about him. So we had a show at the Party Suite, and it was it was awesome. Like, it was going great, and we would have these like intermissions where we would turn on like we had a producer there. His name's IAG on the beat. That'd be a good one to have too. A producer in town, and he will play a beat that he has, and then everybody will get up there and freestyle. Right. Well, they needed
nice.
somebody to freestyle because somebody was getting up there freestyle.
Was this at Tees Bar?
Huh?
Was this at Tees Bar?
No, this is at a Party Suite.
Oh, Party Suite.
Yeah.
Bad.
And
you said that.
yeah. But anyway, Omar, he's like, hey, my friend Nick's here. My friend Nick Luna's here. He's like, you should get him up there. And I was like, yeah, I need him right now. And so I went out to find him. I was like, where is Nick Luna? Who is Nick Luna? And he's like, that's me. You know, I was like, hey, yeah, you want to just take a mic and just get up there and start, freestyling or whatever? And he's like, what? For real? And I was like, yeah, dude, I want you to get up there right now and do it. And then he got up there and he did it, and he got off, and I was like, well, he just told me, he was like, dude, like, he did great for example.
Really?
I mean, just, don't let me not get that out. He did awesome.
Nice.
But then he gets off and he's like, dude, thank you so much for putting me up there, And so I want to work with the kids so bad. We'll eventually work together, but it's just like getting the right time and stuff like that, and I'm just so busy, it's hard.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, I love that kid.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's been rapping as long as I've known him.
Right, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like floored. Like, I was like, how do you do that? I can't freestyle at all. Like it's like,
dude, there's an art to that, man.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm having like Jeremy kind of teach me, Ramey, trying to kind of teach me like how to really like write like coherent like flows and stuff, because I can do it.
Yeah.
You give it to me and I can do it like really well. But writing it, it's like, I don't understand how, like, I just don't feel like I have a big enough vocabulary,
To do a freestyle.
No, not to do a freestyle necessarily, but like to write an actual like real like rap verse.
Oh, I
you know
see.
what I'm saying? Like, I've dabbled in it and done a little bit of stuff, but like it's very basic, because like I feel like you just have to have a large vocabulary of not just like just regular shit that you'd find in Webster's dictionary, but like slang and how you pronounce certain words.
You got to manipulate the way you talk.
Yeah, it's very very new to me.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like it's I mean, I can't speak from experience because I can't freestyle for shit.
Right.
But it's like a muscle that you have to like work out.
And it's a mind muscle. That's a mind muscle,
Definitely.
definitely, for sure. Yeah, because I mean, when I got into all this, I was not like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna become a rapper. Like that was not in my mind. Like, the first song I did was called Psych, and it was just me screaming and singing over a trap beat that I made. So it was just like, I have no intentions of trying to become a rapper. So and I don't want to be called a rapper. It's funny because people still call me like a rapper, and I was like, I have like maybe 6 or 7 songs that I do actually rap on. So it's like, it's hard to say that.
Yeah, well, like kind of on the surface, like when I first initially had heard you,
right,
it was like, oh, that's hip hop. But then you like actually like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it, listen to the lyrics, listen to the beat, listen to it in detail, really focus on it. It's like it's like 4 genres blended together.
Yeah,
it's really good. I enjoy it quite a bit, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a mix of different things for sure.
That song, okay, is that another language at the beginning?
Yes, it's 90% in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
It was because I had done another song called Jinchuriki, and that one's about like, it's like some anime Naruto shit, and I dabbled in that, like the whole song. Well, not the whole song, but like probably about 90% again of that song is in Japanese. And I had dabbled in it a little bit before then with like a metal song. I screamed on a breakdown like some Japanese shit.
Really?
And it was awesome. But I just wanted to do more of it because that one got a good reaction too. So I was like, oh well, what if I do it on like a kind of like an emo trap type thing, like where I'm like singing and stuff like that. And the whole idea behind the song is somebody getting on medication for depression. and then getting off of medication because they don't like the way that it makes them feel. Like, it makes them feel normal, makes them feel happy.
Yeah.
They've become so comfortable with not feeling balanced, not having that. They've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable. How's that sound? And when you actually balance them out, it feels weird and it feels foreign and just wrong,
Yeah.
And so that's what the hook's about. It's like, I'm not okay with being okay, and that's why I have the girl in the music video sing that, like, word that part, and not a lot of me is shown when I'm singing that part.
Great video, by the way.
Thank you. It's the focus is on her singing that because it's about her. That's what she's saying. But I kind of represent, like, the foreign part, the weird part. That's just like, what is this? What is this feeling that I've never felt before? And what is this medication doing to me? And so that's why I did the Japanese, and it just kind of worked.
Nice. Do you speak Japanese? Like,
not
enough?
like fluently or whatever. I just like know basics.
Nice. That's
I've
cool.
been learning Spanish lately, and I'm just like super proud of myself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, learn the days of the week.
I took 3 years of Spanish and I still don't speak it. It's
Yeah,
something you have to do outside of class.
exactly.
Because it's just gonna fade away.
Well, my girlfriend's Hispanic, so it's just like, she's telling me the little bit that she does know, and so she's teaching me it. And then there's a girl that I work with, and she's been teaching me some stuff too, of Spanish. And it's just fun. I like learning the different languages. It's fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like learning an instrument.
I want to do something in Korean. Korean's a fascinating language to me.
What's fascinating to me is Korean pop.
Oh yeah,
that's huge here.
Yeah. K-pop is awesome. I love K-pop.
It's like universal.
I used to listen to J-pop, like Japanese pop music and Japanese rock music and metal music. I grew up listening to that, and then that just translated into K-pop because my sister would get into that, because me and my sister, we're only a year apart. She was homeschooled with me too. Like, we have, like, we're best friends, and so we grew up listening to the same stuff and watching the same shows and stuff like that. And she got into K-pop, and so I started getting into it too. And I was just like, this language is so cool. It's just like, it just has like this like swagger to it that's just, it's just strange. They're like, I call them the R&B Asians.
They just look like they're having so much fun up there.
Yeah, yeah. They just have some kind of they just have more soul to them than Japanese. The Japanese very like sharp and
well, Seoul is the capital of South
That's
Korea,
true.
right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. It makes sense now. Oh,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a fun place over there.
Right.
Not the north side, but down south looks like they're having a good time.
Like, just seeing, like, okay, so like hello or whatever, and I'm gonna bastardize this, but like hello or it's like good morning or good afternoon in Japanese is konnichiwa, right? Konnichiwa.
Yeah.
Konnichiwa, right? And then in Korean, to say like hello, and I'm pretty sure this is correct. If somebody actually speaks Korean, like, I'm sorry if this is wrong, but it's a 여보세요.
Oh,
여보세요.
That's
it's
such
like
a long way.
It's like a weird, like, it's like
so many
it's
syllables.
a lot of bull and sounds, and then konnichiwa is like konnichiwa.
Yeah, so
it's like it's very high and
they
just
drag
like,
it out more.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it like that. You can konnichiwa, but yeah, but they're like booyah. They say a lot of that, and
It's too much work.
여보세요.
I just wouldn't answer the phone.
It's very different.
I gotta say hello to this guy. Too much work.
But yeah, I don't know a lot of Korean, but there's like this, and it's funny too because there's this Korean that follows my my Instagram page, and they were like, "You can do a song in Korean too?" And I was like, "I want to, for real. Like, I'm gonna try. Like, help me out."
Yeah, send me some lyrics.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some lyric ideas. You translate it for me. But
that's legit. So, do you have a like a plan? Like, do you want to do like this like full time? Like, it be your permanent job? Or
man, it's very strange because like I'm coming to the point now because I have multiple things that I'm doing, like, because I'm doing videography now, a lot more. Like, it's like in a week or whatever, I got another band that I'm doing a music video for. I just recently did one for Thelio, or Thalio, is that what he's calling it? I think it's how he says it, Thalio, which is Luke Hader's band. You know Luke Hader?
I think I know. I always called him the Leo. Is it?
Yeah, it's not the
Have
Leo.
I pronounced it wrong?
I think it's Thalio. It's Thalio, but
but yeah, I know the lead singer. I don't know his name, but I know
Luke Hader is.
Okay, that's
name,
Luke.
yeah.
Okay, because we talked to each other, and
Right.
I'm just like, I forgot his name,
forget his
and I don't
name,
want to
yeah.
ask his name because we've been talking for like 2
If
months.
Luke listens to this, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Luke.
No, but I recently did a music video for them, and I was like, I think it was the moment where I realized, I was like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at this, and I think I should do this more, because I was doing it all by myself, and I had all of his equipment with me. And I was just setting up, no stress. I wasn't like freaking out. It wasn't like, oh, we got places to be, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, and freaking out. I was just completely at peace, and I was like, I can do this more, and so, and I was just enjoying myself. So, and I think that's the first moment where I was like, okay, I can do this more. And now we're getting more and more clients with we haven't like officially released, but we have a production company, me and my business partner, we have a production company that we've been doing stuff. That's who we've been doing, like, through my music videos and things of that sort. And we've had a few clients that we've done some work with. Like, for example, we just did some stuff with Edge Dance Studio, which is really fun. We're editing that down right now.
I think I saw. Did you share that on like Facebook or Instagram?
I might have shared,
Or it might have been like karate or something.
No, it was probably Edge, but it was like it was probably like a little promo video that we did. It's just like a little teaser. It's like 10 seconds long or whatever. But I actually the reason that we got that gig in the first place is because I worked with their dancers. Because on my new music video, I have dancers or whatever on there. I don't know if you saw that.
I think so.
Take It Back or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. Because
cool.
I grew up watching like dance competitions and stuff like that. Like So You Think You Dance and like America's Best Dance Crew and stuff. And I was just like, I was all into it. I was like, man, I really like, hopefully one day I can make a song that somebody can like make choreography for. And so that's basically what happened.
Can you dance as well?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I thought everybody would be like, absolutely.
No,
I'll do it right here on the podcast.
No,
for the fans.
I can barely hardcore dance though.
I'll get
into some hardcore pits. I'll do that, but yeah, I cannot do the regular.
I'll describe your dance moves to the listeners.
Oh yes,
he's twirling on his head. It's fantastic. It's mind blowing.
What do you think about that?
I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
I think it's mind blowing.
I'm out of breath. Thank you for getting that ladder so I can do that on the roof.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm glad I know that band's name. They were at Bad Magic. I don't know if you made it out to that, but
yeah, fuck them, man. Fuck them. They got to get on Bad Magic. I didn't get to. I was like, I think I heard about Bad Magic, like coming, doing another Bad Magic, like way too late to even be involved. But I was just like so jealous. I was like, oh, I want to be a part of it.
It was great, especially because like it went indoors at Golden Light.
Right.
And it was so much better than, outside's great, but like the acoustics and everything, just packing that many people into a small area.
Right.
The energy's just through the roof.
It was definitely probably illegal.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. When you think
consider
about it. Like the whole street's just full of people because they're like outside of the venue because nobody can fit inside. But yeah. I bet that bar was lit.
It was. They sold so much beer that day.
I can imagine. Yeah, they had a little after show or whatever at 806 also going on, and I was just like,
I saw my homie. Shout out to the trees.
Hey,
Jordy.
Yeah. Oh, Jordy Lucero.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's one that I used to work with, not like professionally, like work with, like, because I used to be a promoter. We haven't even talked about that. I used to be a promoter around town, so I used to do like metal shows and stuff like that. I also dabbled in some rap shows too, and I don't know if it was like his first rap show, but it was like, I think it was his group's first rap show. It was him and Nicky Cortez, who used to be called Nick Hawk.
Oh, nice.
And
That Nicky Cortez is doing really well from
I
what
love
I've seen on
him.
YouTube.
He's like the coolest dude ever.
I haven't
love
been
that
able
dude.
to see him live either.
I haven't really get to see his new thing, but I booked him with that when it was DJ Roro is also a part of that.
Yeah.
And this is like I don't know if this is A Plus Records or it was like before A Plus Records. I think it was A Plus Records still, but it was just like in its infancy or something like that. But yeah, I booked them and on I think it was Dizzy Wright show.
Really?
And, yeah, it was great.
So Nikki and Jordy opened up for Dizzy, right?
Yeah, they did.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was them, Ellis Isles, before Ramey was Ramey, and then J. Rue Retro. I booked him, and
that sounds familiar.
and then Grayson Carter was on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know all those dudes. I think I know Retro.
J. Rue Retro. That was his first show. I believe that was his first show. Too.
What's his?
So I booked their first shows.
I believe I've had him on the podcast because he just goes by DJ Retro, right? Is that the right
No.
guy? No, different guy then.
No, yeah, probably different. J. Rue Retro or Drew Retro. It's like Drew. I think his real name is Drew, and so but it's a JREW Retro.
Yeah, probably a different guy.
He might just call himself Drew now. I think he might just call himself Drew now. But yeah, that was his first show too, and it was funny too because I was like, because I'm just now getting into this scene, like in the local scene when it comes to hip hop and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Nicky about it, and he's like, golly, man, you really go way back because we were doing shows like way back in the day. It's just like now you're getting into it. It's like it's pretty fascinating to me. You're like
cool.
being on the other side now.
Yeah. Is it do you get the nerves as being like a well, I don't know if you consider yourself a solo performer, but as what you're Shinigama right now, is it
different than being in a band?
Yeah, different than being in a band.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
But it's like it's weird because I mean like there's some stuff that I do that I would do in like metal groups, So I still like. Yeah, you somebody would see me and they're like, he's a rocker, eh? Like he definitely has that vibe,
Canadian.
But it's just different. It's a different vibe. This next show that I'm doing on the 23rd, I actually have my old drummer joining me from my last band that I was in. And he's going to be playing drums over my tracks and with me, and so that's going to be a really fun experience.
Nice.
And I think that's just going to be another element to just kind of like, just be different, and just do something strange.
When performing live, do you think you fit in better with like a hip hop group, or is it more like rock, or does it matter?
Yeah, see, it's weird. It doesn't. I don't know. It's very strange. I talked to Potion about it. Because I can see it from the outside with him, and I'm like, because I can see the crowds and I can see the reactions and stuff, and I'm like, dude, like you play a hip hop show, people fucking love you, You play a metal show, people are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
this is strange,
Interesting.
It's because they're so used to seeing like somebody screaming in a band, and then now he's doing it like over like honestly, my beat style for him is like not really hip hop. It's like industrial electro craziness, like a dubstep.
Dope.
It's crazy. But
is that what is considered experimental?
I guess it would be experimental. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know. I'm just he's great because he just allows me to just go crazy and just make crazy shit for him, and he loves every single bit of it.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's enjoying it.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah,
it's cool. So who would you say as far as music goes, like some big influences for you that kind of shaped like your sound or kind of what you wanted to sound like? Or
gosh, it's hard to say. Like if I had to say, like, okay, so originally when I first decided I was going to start doing this whole style or like do music in general and like do the vocals, I heard oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name now. Underwater. It's a song by Trippie Redd. and it's called Underwater. Underwater Fly Zone, and I heard this song, and it was just like he's like a mumble trap rapper, I guess you could say, that has like he does like kind of some of the sad stuff, but he was just singing and just belting out this song.
He's got a really interesting singing voice too.
Very interesting, and I was just like super inspired, and I was like, I want to do something like that. Like that it just inspired me, and so that inspired me to start doing it and do trap and experiment with that and with screams and mixing the different genres. I guess Ghostman could be an influence too.
Ghostman's cool.
Or Scarlord would be an influence too, but he was the main one. Nice. But before that, you could say like a metal band, or like Devil Wears Prada, or Zayo. I grew up listening to Zayo when I was a kid. Things like that on the metal side are my influences. And then like how I structure songs is like from my experience leading praise and worship, oddly enough, because like I used to listen to a lot of Hillsong. Have you ever heard of Hillsong?
Oh, that's
before?
a great band.
Yeah, it's great. Hillsong United specifically.
Yeah.
I used to listen to them a lot, and the way that they structure their songs is fascinating to me, because it's not. It's normal, right? Yeah. So when you're leading praise and worship, it's like you do like a verse, and then a chorus, right? And then like a second verse, and then you do a chorus, and then it just like
extend that chorus out.
just extend that chorus out, and then just start bringing in parts of the verses and bringing in a bridge and bringing it back in the chorus, and then just building up and building up and building up. And so like I'll make a song where I'm like, okay, I'm going to start off with the chorus, do a verse, then do a bridge to the chorus again, right? And build that bridge is like a build up back to the chorus, and then I'll bring that bridge back in with the chorus with all the instruments. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
Because I like making things sound epic, like, and then doing callbacks to things that happened before in the song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and throwing them in the mix and stuff. And so that comes from my love for praise and worship music, which is just strange for me to even think about. It's like totally not doing praise and worship music, but I have the same kind of like I want that vibe of just like I love the feeling of listening to a song and getting goosebumps. And so that's what I want to recreate. Like when people listen to my instrumental stuff, because I used to just make instrumental music, right? They would be like, "Oh, it sounds like a movie soundtrack, or it sounds like a video game soundtrack."
Yeah, definitely. I got those vibes for sure.
Yeah, and then so I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, that's just because of how I progress songs, because I'm always like building up and building up and building up, and so that's cool. Those are probably the main like overall or like overarching like inspirations, I guess you could say.
It was a very well-rounded answer. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Very cool. Very cool. Are there any I guess it could be local or like national, international, any artists, musicians that you'd be like would love to work with, like if they hit you up?
Oh man. Oh. You've hit me with the first hard question.
Or someone like, I'd love this guy to feature on my next album.
Right?
This blank.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like just get like a feature from somebody.
Yeah, just like who, like if you had to pick one.
I don't know. Like we mentioned like Joji. Like Joji's like, it's just because he's like an inspiration to me, like coming from like that comedy world into like being a joke overall, like being a walking meme and then being, taken seriously. I think that would be really cool. Post Malone. Post Malone is just like, that dude's like just a sweetheart. Yeah. Like there's just like nothing. I don't think that dude has a bad bone in his body. Have you ever listened to the H Street podcast?
I have. I haven't listened to it.
Listen to the one with him and with them and Post Malone. Dude's he's just so down to earth. Like any interview I see him with, he's just so down to earth.
I've watched his Breakfast Club interviews.
Okay,
I'm a big fan of Breakfast Club
I
interviews.
love Breakfast Club too. Yeah, Breakfast Club is great. Although the God gets annoying sometimes. It's just like, dude, you're a little bit too extra, dude. Like, calm down.
He is, but it's his shtick, so he's
it is his shtick. It's funny, but he would be one. Just because he also comes from where I come from, metal and stuff.
Yeah, and I was gonna say like, not that you guys have a similar sound, but he's kind of like
Singer-songwriter,
like the
more than rapper, really.
the diversity of like his music kind of is similar to yours. The way you're able to like
do different things, or whatever,
completely different sounds on the same album, and it sync together and tell like a story is it's really dope.
You should listen to Heroes and Villains. It's really, really off the wall. Like it's
will.
crazy. Like what I mean is like it's just like one style and a different style and a different style. Like it's, and I think it comes down to and that's something I tell people is don't just put yourself in a box. Like I think a box is boring, you know?
Yeah.
Like get out of it and move it around, play with it, kick the box, you know? Like
Definitely.
just do whatever you want. Like have fun with it, because if you overthink the process, you're hindering your progress, and you're just not. I don't think you're going anywhere.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean there's a lot of albums that just kind of follow like the similar pattern, try to go for one like overall theme and sound.
You want to think the danger of that is though, and this is what I wanted to avoid, is being that artist, because I hate it when somebody says this about an artist that I like. Play your old stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like this new sound. And so like I want to start from the very beginning and let everybody know up front, this ain't one thing.
That's
know,
correct. Yeah, for
sure. I'm going to consistently change all the time and do different things, and so they know what they're getting themselves into at that point, you know. And so,
I read an article several years ago about Radiohead and how they would continuously get booed until they played Creep.
Yeah, and see, that makes me mad, dude.
There's no way they don't have other great songs, guys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They even did an anime theme.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they did an anime like ending theme.
Nice.
I love Radiohead. They're great.
Have you always been big in anime?
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid. Like I would take well, I mean, it started off like Dragon Ball Z and Toonami and stuff like that. And then I got into like the Japanese stuff, because I remember like now you can go to the mall right now and go get like some like anime figures like at the anime store. I don't know, have you seen it at like, the end of the mall?
There's an anime store at the end of the mall?
There's an anime store at the end of the mall, like by Earthbound, dude. It's crazy, dude.
That is crazy. I go to the mall like once every 3 years.
What?
I just don't.
Really?
I don't like shopping. I mean,
there's just people like that.
Yeah.
And you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Especially since I'm like
the 1%.
I'm like a bigger guy. Like it's hard to find pants for me. It's hard to find shoes for me. So it's like I'm gonna go to the mall and be like, this is what I want, but I can't have it.
You can only shop at Big and Tall. Like,
I still haven't been to Big and Tall.
Oh, really?
Check it out.
Yeah, you need to check it
XL.
out. You need to check it out. No, but I will go to, when I go on like vacation somewhere, I'm like traveling somewhere, I'm like, well, the first thing I got to do is I got to check out the mall. Like, and I think it's because when I was growing up, that's like one of the main things that we would do, like for entertainment. And I think my dad taught me or got me into this mindset of like, we go to the mall so we can stare at strange people.
That is fun.
You know?
That's what I love about Walmart.
Right. Yeah. I guess
Because I was in
See, when I'm in Walmart, I don't pay attention to people, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I was in Fort Collins in Denver for like 4 days, and I was like, man, everyone has their life together. They're doing well. They're so fit. Like I feel like I don't fit in. And then I went to the Walmart in Fort Collins, and I was like, oh, these are my people. This is where I belong. This is where
this guy's wearing pajamas.
This is where the normal people hang out.
And it's 5:00 in the afternoon.
Well, I'm also struggling. This is the place to be.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I don't know. I love malls, but yeah. They have like I said, they have an anime store there now. And then, but like when I was a kid, I didn't. Like I said, I mean, like, there was like maybe like 5 AMVs on the entire internet of AOL, right? And it took like 2 days to download it. So my consumption of what actual Japanese culture is, and like what was coming out from my favorite shows in Japan was very small. And so when I went to a mall and they had like an import place, I was just like blown away. I'm like, I would see stuff like characters be with other characters, or like transformations of different characters. I'm like, what? This happens? Like, what? It was fascinating to me when I was a kid, because there was so little of it. Like you would, because there was no video games back then either of that stuff. You'd have to get them from Japan. My dad and my mom spent probably about 150, like maybe $200 just for one game.
Really?
For me to play one game.
Oh,
the Dragon Ball Z game.
They love you.
Oh, it was a Dragon Ball GT game. But anyway, it was for my PlayStation 1, and it came with this, like, a converter, because you can't play imported CDs on a regular PlayStation. So you have to get this converter thing or whatever. It's it's basically a Game Shark, but it's like from Japan, so that you can play. Well, actually, you can use it to play bootleg games even. But basically, it just tells the PlayStation that you're gonna load up something. He's gonna get rid of the disc that's in there, and then he's gonna replace the disc with the actual game or whatever, and it'll be playable. It just tricks the PlayStation into thinking that it's like a Japanese thing or whatever. But anyway, yeah, like $150, $200 for this fucking game, and it was the worst game ever.
It was?
Like, it wasn't even good. Like, it was terrible.
I was about to hype up Dragon Ball games,
but I loved
so much
it.
Fun.
But I loved it. I still loved it. I still loved it. I learned how to get by its like gimmicky controls and terrible animation, and I even like unlocked some like secret characters and everything. I played the shit out of it, so I got the use out of it. But it was a terrible game.
I can see that. Yeah. But like the recent Dragon Ball games are insane.
Oh right, yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they're great.
You've come a long way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I still remember when they came out on PlayStation 2. I thought that was that might have been the first one to hit America.
Budokai was my thing, dude.
That was the jam back then.
You called somebody over, you had some beef with somebody, dude. You just settled it on Budokai.
That's when I would just hang out with kids that had PlayStation 2s.
Right. It was the same thing with
I don't like you, but you have Dragon Ball Z, so.
Yeah. Oh, right. It was like Tony Hawk and Gran Turismo and
Gran Turismo, that had its heyday for a while.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Like, I was just like, we're gonna get through this rally car level today, okay? Me and my friends, we would just like take turns and try to get through it. It was just so hard. That game was. I've never been good at racing games. That game was my Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. I haven't played that one. I hear great things about it though.
Well, it's just a difficult game. It's just known as a very difficult game. So that was definitely my Dark Souls.
Yeah, racing games. Those have always been a struggle for me.
No,
I can't pick up on them very well. Still, I still can't stay on the track.
Yeah, oh really?
Yeah,
I'm always going off because I know the shortcuts probably. Yeah, they're so obvious. So obvious. It's like, what? That's clearly a path. But I can't play video games anymore. Like, not like I used to. I used to play video games and go through the entire story. I was so excited about Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out. I still haven't finished it. I'm like halfway through like the third level.
That's how it was with I think Fallout 4. Like, I got pretty far into it and then I was like, I don't care anymore.
Right. Yeah. And but like there's some games that I can always get on and I can just chill. Like, it's a relaxing thing. It's a relaxation thing, and it's like Overwatch. I can get on Overwatch anytime and just relax and just have some fun, and then I'll get off and I'll be good. It's not like I have to invest myself into like multiple hours of this game. Or like Skate. I love the Skate games. They were so relaxing. I just play.
Yeah, those were fun for a while. But
I could sleep and play it.
I don't really make time for video games either. It just feels so time consuming when you're doing it.
It's so time consuming, and I mean, we're just busy,
Yeah, I could be doing something else right now.
Exactly, like something more productive.
Absolutely,
right? Like, I just get into this mode where I'm just like, if I'm not doing something productive, like, I'm failing at the day.
Absolutely. I got that same mindset. Like, if I watch over like an hour of TV, I'm just like, I just wasted a whole hour.
Right. You were saying that. You were like, I don't watch TV anymore. I was like, that's a weird thing to say out of nowhere. I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, do you say this to all the new people that you meet? I don't watch TV, just letting you know.
Not in a bragging way, but I just don't. There's no part of my brain that's like interested in just like sitting down and watching a show. Like, I got
right.
I'm always on something. Like, I've always got something else coming up.
Well, that's where I will disagree with you, because I can definitely binge a show. Like, right now I'm watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and I think my girlfriend hates it. I don't know for sure. I don't think she's being honest with me. But like, I think she hates it, but I'm just like watching it because I'm like, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer in this new age, and I'm a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, I love the quirkiness and just craziness, and like shows like Charmed that came on way back in the day.
I did watch Buffy. That was a good show. WB.
Went back when WB wasn't like, like a certain, like, I watch a movie like let me think of a movie like what is that? Mortal Engines or something like that, or Mortal Instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Like a movie like that, I'll watch and I'm like, is this made by CW? Because this has a CW vibe like strong.
That's funny.
You know, CW definitely has that vibe now. But WB used to be the shit, man.
WB was cool.
Yeah.
Pretty sure Batman Beyond was on that.
Oh yeah.
It was a great show.
Well, okay. Now if we're getting the Saturday morning cartoons, it had to be Fox for Kids. Had to watch Fox for Kids, dude. That's where Digimon was. That's where Yu-Gi-Oh was.
I was big on. I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh, but I was big on Digimon.
Digimon was my thing, dude. That was like so
Digital
you
monsters.
Yeah. The Digivolution is up and running. Did you see it? Did you hear it? Did you know it was coming? You know, I can get into it, dude. No, like Digimon the movie was like one of my favorite movies of all time. That soundtrack still stands like probably in my top 10 like best soundtracks of my life. That and
That's
like the Power Rangers soundtrack. Power Rangers the movie.
Oh, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Is that the one that started out with skydiving to Aerosmith?
Yes.
That was a great movie.
Yes. You're like that just alone. That's the entire movie. That's fine. And then it ends with Van Halen's Dreams, and I was just like, oh, this is a great movie. That was my childhood. I remember my dad sitting next to me in the movie theater. We were going to go see it, and he was like, "We're gonna watch Power Rangers the movie," you know.
Yeah.
It's like I'm excited too, Dad. You know, he was super stoked. But anyway, Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah, Digimon was the shit. That was my thing
for sure. I think I'm scared to watch Power Rangers again because I feel like it'll be corny now. Dude, and I don't want to ruin it.
You see, back to the wormhole.
I don't want to ruin my memories.
You haven't gone down the wormhole of Power Rangers until you've watched Super Sentai.
Definitely haven't seen that one.
Super Sentai is Power Rangers in Japan. That's what they call it. So they call it Super Sentai. And then they have different ones.
It has a nice ring to it.
Super Sentai, yeah.
Super Sentai.
Super Sentai. And my favorite one is Super Sentai Geo Ranger. And that is the Wild Force season, I believe, in America. But dude, what? It's crazy. Mm-hmm. So like they have like actual like real martial artists in these outfits, and each one does a different style of martial arts.
Really?
Yeah, it's like super cool. And then like the enemies, the two main enemies are like humans. They're not like, you know, like giant crazy monsters or whatever. Yeah. They're like humans. Like it was like this hot ass Asian chick and this dude with like this like lion mask thing on his head or whatever. And there was like this moment. It's like the Red Ranger versus that dude. Like they fight against each other. And there's like this like epic, like it could be out of a Marvel movie, dude. This looks like they're just going at it and like explosions and everything. And then you have like the Red Ranger and like half of his helmet is like broken and he's like bloodied up and everything. Really? And I'm like, this is amazing. Why didn't they not get this in America? They're missing out, man.
Because we can't teach these kids violence.
Yeah, but I got into that wormhole, man. I would be watching Super Sentai. I'd watched this other kind of show. It's called Kamen Rider, which is similar in a way. It's another like transformative like show. Like we're like can't remember what they call it. They transform or whatever, you know.
So the Japanese version is better action.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a lot of cheesiness in some other seasons, but that season alone was like it was crazy. Because I think the season after that I watched was the one with like the cars and stuff, and it was weird. I was like, this is like super cheesy, and it's like super like it's all about the kids and stuff, and it just wasn't the same. But yeah, that season was really good.
Interesting. And I watch a couple shows. Like I did binge watch Atlanta. That was a great show.
Yeah. I still haven't finished that one. I've watched like the first like 3 episodes.
It's interesting. It's they're all each episode is like its own weird adventure.
Right.
It doesn't really count.
And I just love I love Childish Gambino.
Yeah,
with Donald Glover. That dude is so talented. Like before he started releasing the music, or no, it was right when he started releasing music, I was like, this is the dude that produced Community.
Yeah.
And also acted in Community. Also, he has a stand-up, you know, which is pretty good. It's just like, is there anything this dude does not do? I'm waiting for him to direct a movie. I
can see that.
I can imagine him directing a movie and it being amazing.
Yeah, there's no way it couldn't be.
Yeah,
That's
everything
insane.
he touches is just like ridiculous.
I remember, yeah.
Is Spike Lee can just go ahead and just like sit down.
A
Like
Spike Lee joint.
he would be it would be a Gambino joint. You know,
Yeah.
like it would be.
That'd be
It
interesting.
would be fire. Like he would be. I feel like
Gambino
that's what I feel like he would be. He would be like the next Spike Lee. He would be talking
Mm-hmm.
about like some crazy shit, and in a very interesting way.
Yeah, definitely. Like
yeah.
Jordan Peele. kind
Jordan
of.
Peele is kind of
Yeah.
like that too. But it's kind of it's weird because it's different. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's different with Jordan Peele, and it's also different with Anna DuVernay. She's another one that's kind of like an activist
She's,
director.
what is she directed?
She just recently she did direct the that Disney movie. What is it called? Wrinkle in Time, which she answered a little bit of her little things in there, but
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't that good of a movie. But she just recently did the When They See Us on Netflix. That show was insane.
Everyone's talking about that on social media.
Ooh, dude, I was messed up.
Does it?
I was messed up.
I want to watch it, but I feel like it would just piss me off. Have you seen Abducted in Plain Sight?
I know I haven't seen it, but I know
That's-
what you're talking about.
Just,
Yeah, and
it
I've
just
heard
made me
about
mad.
it.
I feel like if I watch
Right.
it, I'm just gonna get mad.
There was another one that I was watching that was like that. It was the one about Maddie or whatever her name is. The missing child that's still missing. Like they lost her in like Indonesia or something. I can't remember where it was.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I'm talking
I remember
about?
the story. I
Yeah,
didn't
it was-
hear
yeah.
about the documentary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I was mad. I was like, "What is going on? What are people doing?"
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
nonsense.
like they're not finding this girl. Why are they not finding
I'm
this
not
girl?
even
It's just-
trying.
But yeah, the one about the Park Five that really like messed me up. That was but it's very entertaining. Like don't get me wrong. Like and it has a great ending. Because I mean they do get all charges against them dropped. So there's a happy ending, but the journey to get there, man, is
Yeah,
tough.
definitely.
It's tough, man. Oh
I
man.
mean, life changed forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's sad. It always sucks. Like, I mean, it's great when someone's like, oh, they've been in prison for 20 years. They were just due to some newfound evidence. They were
Right.
found innocent, and you're like, that's
Mhm.
awesome, but that
That's
also
great.
sucks.
That they had to go through that.
Yeah, like they probably haven't seen their children in 27 years.
They're like the
Like
story.
you can't go back to your life.
The story with, well, the thing is, they didn't have children.
Mm-hmm.
They were so young. They were
Yeah,
only like 14. The oldest one was 16.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 13, 14,
Holy shit.
and 16. It was like it's like two 13-year-olds
See,
or
I didn't-
14-year-olds.
I didn't
and
look
then-
into the details on that.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
crazy.
it's crazy that like they started off in juvie, or whatever.
Oh my
but the
goodness.
16-year-old had to be tried as an adult. And what's crazy,
What?
what's crazy is the 16-year-old, they weren't even gonna pick him up. Like he wasn't on the list for them to even talk to.
Mm-hmm.
He went with his friend who was on the list because he wanted to support him.
Oh, see, now
And
I'm
when
mad.
somebody got when somebody got out of it, I think it was when his friend got pulled out by his mom, they pulled him in.
Wow.
Yeah, and pinned it on him.
And they basically just coerced him
And
into
yeah,
confessing.
and he had to survive like way longer than everybody else. He was in like prison. Like
Oh,
the only reason
Jesus.
that he was let loose, let free, was because of the evidence that came out.
Wow.
So he
How
was going to
long-
be there for life, dude. For
How
that.
long were they in? Was like a decade or more, right?
I think it was probably a decade for the ones that were underage.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's the only one that got like tried for basically life.
Jeez.
So it's crazy. Like when you watch that, I definitely recommend it. Just as a way to like see like how things were and get an idea of like kind of how like
Mm-hmm.
they are now really in a
Yeah.
lot of ways, how they profile.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean that's all it was. It was just profiling the
Definitely.
entire
And
time.
that was in the late 90s, right? Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay.
It was something. No. Might have been before. Might have been before the 90s. I don't know. They had like no. It was probably the 90s. Yeah, they did have a 90s look to them, I guess.
Yeah,
These
that is
movies.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
hard to tell sometimes. Like what the time period is.
Yeah, it's a shame really because you always hear about the South and racism, and then you see like New York. That's
Yeah.
It's supposed to be the most diverse place on the planet,
Exactly.
and it's still
But back then,
happening.
It was like, well, it was just, and that's why the prosecutor chick is getting, no, not the prosecutor, the detective, basically. The detective on the case is like getting a bunch of shit online right now about it, because her part in it was basically like she basically framed these young boys because they coerced all their confessions, and they tried every single way to make the story fit them. And basically when it came down to it is basically like, well, you guys all say you saw one of you do it, so that means you were all there.
Wow.
Even though there's no proof that you're there, there's no evidence that you're there, you guys all say in your confessions that you saw another person do it, so that means you all did it.
That's so sad. It can work out that way, man.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Yeah,
That's
it's
awful.
definitely worth a watch. I think it's 4 episodes, and they're like an hour each. So it's just a mini series. It's like a 4-hour long movie, basically.
Did you ever watch Making a Murderer?
Yeah, dude,
'Cause
that one messed me up too.
It's interesting, like the power the documentary has
Did you watch the
on
second
our culture.
season?
I still haven't watched the second season.
Dude, you have to watch the second season. I was like, there's no, because he's not out. I was like,
Yeah.
well, there's no happy ending. So like, what are we even getting out of this? But it's this chick who like has been known to get innocent people off, like that have been framed or whatever, and that's what her main thing is. She's gotten like 6 people off with new evidence, and worked her way up. And so we got her, and the work she does on that show, I was just like, ooh, girl, let's get it. Because some of the stuff she goes up with, I was like, oh shit, how did you miss that? Like, that's insane. Like, some of the stuff that they miss is insane.
Really?
Yeah, it's really fascinating. But they
interesting.
also, they have new, like, they have a new trial.
Really?
There's a new trial going on right now for him because of what she did. So we're definitely probably going to get a 3rd season and see what really happens with that. So
that's interesting.
wouldn't that be insane, though?
That would, yeah. That's
like if he gets out because of this show.
Yeah, the power that we have
It'd be insane.
As a culture, as a society.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
it really
I mean,
is.
it's just like, it's like when I made that petition to change the design of Sonic.
What is that?
Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
I made a petition. It has like over like 4,000 signatures.
That's your
on it.
petition?
No, I mean there's multiple petitions, but I think mine had the most.
Really?
And so when
Nice.
it came out that they were changing it, like they were like, okay, we'll change it. I was like, I mean, it's kind of my ideal, right? I mean, I'm the one who did it, right?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they're smart. I think they're smart for doing that. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, it's too late to change anything. They got to release the movie this year. No, they don't. Like, they can push it back. Like,
That's
nobody has to have this movie this year.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I didn't think they'd be able to change it at that point. I don't know how animation works, but I just assume like
they
we
can't
spent,
change they can't reshoot the whole movie, but they can
just edit the character.
Yeah,
itself.
you can just edit.
So
the
I guess it
character
wouldn't
itself.
be, because I was gonna say it probably cost a lot to do the animations, but
To redo it, I think it's gonna cost a good amount, but like we don't even know necessarily how finished they were with all of the scenes because it's only the trailer that we know. So it might, just they did push it back, but we'll see. But I mean, I was with everybody else. I was like, this is terrifying. This is weird. This is wrong. This is an abomination.
it's odd to me that like we're all pushing for this. I mean, not we, but there's this push for live action movies. Like I went and watched a live action Aladdin, and it's like this is so much better as a cartoon.
Right.
Let's keep it animated. Like why do we have the need to make everything real?
I think like when it comes to that, it's just it's partly a money grab, but I feel like the only one that's not a money grab is Jon Favreau, just because I really just respect that dude as a director and like a visionary. Dude's just awesome. Jon Favreau is, and I feel like because I really like Jungle Book and his interpretation of Jungle Book.
Jungle Book was good.
Jungle Book was really good, and I feel like this Lion King is just gonna do like insane numbers.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I saw Lion King the original animated like multiple times in the theaters when I was a kid. That was like the one movie that I saw multiple times, Because if it didn't happen very often when you're a kid, you can't afford it, or whatever.
I mean, I think everyone's got that movie memorized, regardless of what
exactly.
age you are.
Yeah, it's probably, I would say, it's the most beloved Disney movie of all time.
Yeah, easily.
I would say it was probably that one. Probably that one.
I think Toy Story's up there.
Yeah, well, yeah, but see, I don't count Pixar.
Oh, you don't count Pixar?
Yeah, because I mean, what are you gonna do with Pixar? You're gonna make
Yeah.
Pixar a live action movie? I mean, like, why? It's already 3D. Come on. But it's probably that one and Cinderella maybe and Little Mermaid.
Okay,
I would say
yeah.
Little Mermaid
Little
is
Mermaid's
definitely up there. Yeah, and I think they are going to do it in Little Mermaid. And they're working on a Mulan right now. Now Mulan is a definite. I think Mulan is actually going to be pretty cool.
I mean, as long as they don't ruin the dragon, because the new Aladdin, I don't know if you saw it.
Oh right, yeah.
The parrot wasn't even like comical
talking,
fun.
Right,
No,
yeah,
it was
no,
like the parrot was a big
is,
role in the cartoon.
How is Raja?
Raja?
The tiger.
The tiger's cool. I'm not gonna lie. The tiger's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The Raja was my favorite part of the Aladdin. Like I had a cat that I named Raja.
I really liked. I mean, Will Smith's a great genie as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like this. It's just
kind of weird.
There's a certain level of corniness to it.
Right, and didn't he do like some weird Aladdin rap? It's like.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do the original film justice.
Yeah,
it really doesn't.
Exactly. So it's just. I think it's more of just a nostalgia thing, which we're obsessed with nostalgia, and we'll if we remember it, we'll go see it.
Yeah, basically.
Probably, I mean, it's just.
Basically.
I mean, they know our buttons now. When it comes to that stuff. I mean, I don't, because there was nothing, like, think about the 80s, right? Like, there was nothing anybody was, like, claiming for from, the 60s. Like, oh, we need to recreate this. Not really, like, maybe, I think, the only one I can think of is, what's it called? Is that dog's name Boots?
Yeah, Boots.
I have a dog named Boots, too.
Bootsy Collins.
That's great. But, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Oh, it was about nostalgia,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, I don't know, nostalgia.
Talking about man, now I forgot. I was thinking about dogs too.
Yeah.
But we can move on. So let me think. There's some questions. I mean, you listen to the Tessa's episode, so I'm just trying to keep like the same theme of questions. If you could make someone do something, or make everyone in the world do something every day for the next 30 days. It could be anything you want. What would it be?
Oh, God. If I could make everybody in the world do something, like the same thing?
Yeah.
Does it have to be like a pretty vague thing?
No, it can be as simple.
I mean, I can say, I just want them to
complex,
do jumping jacks
Yeah,
for
like,
just 30 days.
Get your heart rate up.
Right? No, well, no. Actually, health things, right? Get rid anything. Well, this would be kind of vague, but it has to be pretty specific at the same time, if that makes sense. But anything that they are knownly addicted to, drop it for 30 days. They have to drop it for 30 days.
That's a good one.
And that means that they would lose all their addiction, because it takes like, what is it, like 2 weeks to lose in?
I want to say it was either like 14 or 21. It might have been like 20ish.
Yeah.
To like
And
break a habit.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's probably the most beneficial.
Absolutely.
Honestly, because you think about like the opioid crisis we're in right now,
Yeah,
and
that would drastically change that.
yeah, and then just even on a basic level, the smoking and the stuff like that,
And that's enough time to
and more importantly,
to like readjust your hormones,
right,
in the correct way. I think. I don't know.
You might even see you would even see a drop in cancer, I would think, or potential for cancer at least. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? But the even sugar. See, that's where I have to be like, I would have to be specific, because I would include that.
Yeah.
So like,
and if you
an addiction to sugar,
you'd have to include caffeine.
Yeah, exactly. So that, I mean, like, Coke wouldn't be very happy, but like that would, because a lot of people don't look at sugar as an addiction. But
It's
then
a huge addiction.
I tried keto last year. No, not last year. The year before last, and I did that for like 3 months, and I was amazed
Dude, same.
at how addicted I was to sugar.
Yeah. There
It's
was like
insane.
I did keto, I think around 3 months, and I lost like 30 pounds. But
Mm.
yeah, the first few days without sugar, you're just
It's
like,
nuts.
what's wrong with me?
I like I don't eat candy really often or like chocolate or sweets really, but I've never wanted it so much in my life.
And it's crazy because like when I was younger, I was like, I can't get full unless there's bread with this meal.
Right.
Like I need carbs, you know. And then it's like I grow up, and it's like you don't need bread. Like there's not much nutritional value in the bread that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean carbs are good for like like muscle growth and all that, but it's not a necessity as much as like proteins and fats and fiber.
I worked out for like what was it? I worked out. It was probably about 105 days straight. 105 days. I made it like
No breaks.
No breaks.
Oh man.
So like each day I just kept myself consistent because I was like I have to get up in the morning and I have to take that damn selfie in the gym.
Oh yeah.
And because that's what kept me consistent because I felt like people were relying on seeing it.
That's awesome. It's a good way to hold yourself accountable.
Exactly. I was like using Snapchat and stuff, and all my friends would get like a morning Snapchat from me when I would go to the gym. And I'm actually thinking about doing it again, but like with my Shinigama fan base.
Nice.
Because I mean, like if I had support then, like I'm sure they would show support now. Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, but I worked out for that long and I barely lost anything. I did keto and lost like 30 pounds, like you said.
Wow.
Like, yeah. It was like super quick too.
Diet's everything. Was your body like able to recover with that? With like
Yeah.
no rest?
Yeah.
Were you not like sore all the time?
It wasn't like I had went super hard at the gym every day.
Oh, okay.
It was just about like getting exercise and
just being active.
I would work out a different muscle part of my muscles or whatever like every day, and then I would walk and run. So it was just those two things put together basically every day.
I feel that.
Yep.
That's good. Dedication, man. That's what it takes.
No, but I want to do it again, but it's just like I have no room to prepare my food. And then you have to prepare food all the time with keto. Like you cannot. I mean, I can go to Sharky's and get a burrito bowl with no beans, no rice, no nothing. All I get is like queso and hot sauce and chicken.
You can get some avocado on it.
Some avocado, yeah. It's just like it's a weird, just like dip without chips, basically. But it tastes good and it works. But like I can't buy that all the time.
Yeah.
So I have to prepare my food and everything. And I'm moving pretty soon into an actual house and a house that doesn't have my living room and my kitchen in the same room. That's why I don't have any room to prepare, and it just gets hot in there when I cook. So
I've been meal prepping, and it's like $7 a meal. So I think I'd spend that much a week at the grocery store. So I drop $70 a week. And it's not necessarily keto, but it's like, it's got like protein, and it's usually got like a potato, like mashed potatoes and some spinach and carrots, and it's healthy. But I don't know the carb intake, but all the carbs are coming from the veggies and the potatoes, so it can't. I mean, it's not bad carbs at all.
When I started today trying intermittent fasting. Well, I mean, I've done intermittent fasting before. I actually did it with keto, and that just even boosted it even more.
Yeah,
it's crazy when you combine those two things.
I dabble in both of those, but I still cheat. So it's like I do lazy intermittent fasting.
The thing about intermittent fasting is like you can cheat. You can it's fine. You're not gonna fuck up your entire diet. But with keto, if you cheat one day, like you're done. Like you have to start over. Basically,
I recommend intermittent fasting because I know like people that do keto they tend to stall out after a while. Your body just kind of adjusts, and then it's like, oh, what do I do now? Yeah. But intermittent fasting is really good.
Yeah, intermittent fasting is probably, I think it's the easiest, especially for like people like you and me. Like if we're constantly trying to be productive, we forget to eat anyway. Yeah. So it just works out.
And then you kind of rewire your brain because back in the day, I used to be like, oh, it's been 3 or 4 hours since breakfast. I guess it's time to eat.
Right.
Oh, I just had
It's
lunch
not
not too
even
long ago.
like you're
It's time
like
to eat.
super hungry. It's
Yeah,
just
it was just-
like
I was running on a
I
clock.
think I need to eat right now. Like when I said I'm like right after I eat this hot pocket. Normally I'd be like I've already had like 5 hot pockets a day, you know. But now I'm just eating this one hot pocket, you know, and I'm done, you know.
Yeah.
I need to eat more than that.
'Cause
I'll
you-
probably have some more after my girlfriend gets off. Probably get some food, but
Yeah.
because that's like way too little of calories.
And once you do like time restricted eating, you finally like realize like, oh, this is what actual hunger feels like.
Yeah.
All those other times I was just kind of hungry. Like, I
Exactly.
hit 2 p.m. and I'm like, okay, I'm actually hungry. Like I can eat now.
I feel like the best way to look at intermittent fasting is like when you're getting hungry, think about it like you're burning calories, like as if you're like working out and you feel like a burn on a muscle and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that feeling, it like hurts kind of, but like you know that it's working, right? And I feel like that hunger is me knowing that it's working.
For sure.
And so I just look at it like that, and so it's fine. Like I
It's a
can get
great
by
way to
it.
look at it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also hard. Like if I eat at 1 p.m. and because I have a 9 to 5 job, so I'll get off work at 5:30, and then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll get back, and then I'll cook dinner, and by that time it's already like my window's already closed for the 8
Right.
hours. So then I'm just like, okay, I'll do 10 hours a day.
Right. So you work out in the morning?
No, I work out right after work.
Right after work.
Yeah, working out in the morning
See-
would actually be more beneficial.
See, like I would just eat after you work out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what the 2 people that I used to watch. They were called the Hodge twins.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah.
the ones who got me into the intermittent fasting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now they're like super Republican
Yeah.
commentary people. It's very strange. Like I was like, I used to like your stuff, but now I feel like you guys like
So
made
they started-
one viral video and now you're just like going off of
So
it.
they started out differently.
Huh?
They started out.
Oh
just,
yeah,
just
they
being funny.
they started out just being funny and just
I see, that's
they used to cuss a lot and like be like vulgar all
That's
the
so
time.
weird.
And they had to stop because YouTube stopped monetizing their stuff because they were cussing and stuff like that. And it just ruined their whole thing, their whole shtick.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. And so I guess they found more of a market with the like the Fox News crowd, I guess
Yeah,
you could
they're
say.
pandering
Yeah.
hardcore right now.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah. I mean, I don't really blame them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're paying attention to them.
Yeah.
You know, when nobody else is paying attention to them right now. And I mean, the reason that they pay attention to them is because it's like, oh well, like they're like
Yeah.
they can, they're black and they can, say the stuff that I say, so it's okay. You know, and so it's just like it kind of sucks, but whatever. Because there's also have those other 2 ladies. You know what I'm talking about? The
Oh,
ones that,
Diamond and Silk.
yeah, it's like what you mix those 2 together, put Hodge twins in them together.
No, thank you.
Oh gosh,
That is funny though.
yeah.
But no, any type of, I mean, political commentary is not bad. Like the Daily Show's okay. Jon Stewart was amazing. I feel like Colbert is kind of less interesting. It's just the fact that it's like, Trump is like dominates the news. So it's like, can we talk about anything else? Like,
Right, yeah. Like we know he's up to some
Yeah.
bullshit. It's just like normal at this point. Yeah, it's a strange sense of normality that is terrifying, but also kind of comforting. Because like when he won, it's like okay, it's the end of the world or whatever, And then when we come to this point, it's like, well, it's not the end of the world. He's terrible. But at least, it's not the end of the world.
yeah, it's true.
And so, even though, like, it's a scary sense of normality, it is comforting knowing that, like, but you know what, honestly, dude? I just can't wait. See, I don't do the sports ball, dude. But the debate season's about to start, dude. And I get hyped, dude.
I'm super hyped for the debates.
I get hyped. I'm gonna go all out. I get me a sports tray, like all the goodies. I don't care. I'll get popcorn. I'll get whatever. And like I'll be like, the debate's on tonight. Sorry guys, I gotta cancel all my plans. Like it's so fascinating to me. That's so much fun.
He's fun to watch, dude. Like regardless of how you feel about him, that dude's entertaining.
Oh yeah.
He's
But
like,
I mean, see, it's not even about that. It's not even about the main event,
he's
right?
a comic book character.
It's not even about the main event, though. Like, who's going to go against Donald Trump? It's about who's going to decide who goes up against Donald Trump, right? So, like, this... And also, kind of low-key, like, there's going to be, like, a little bit of Republican debates, which is going to be kind of pretty funny to watch.
It's going to be weird.
It's going to be weird, and it's going to be funny, though. It's going to be, like... It's like... did he support Donald Trump
Yeah.
at one point? Did he not? You know, what did he say here? I
Mhm.
mean, they're going to be calling each other out, and it's just going to be weird, like weird bitching at each other.
No one's going to be able to market themselves the way Trump does. No one's going to be able
Right,
to like
yeah.
go into a stadium
No,
and just have
there's-
everyone just
There's
lose their minds.
yeah, no,
Guys,
there's absolutely no.
He's a hell of
No
a
way.
salesman.
But yeah, I'm excited. And plus, there's like 100 Democrats running, so it's just going to be.
It's ridiculous.
It's
I
ridiculous.
see a new one every day.
Well, I think I saw the threshold is right now, like where they have to meet a certain threshold before the debate in poll numbers, before they can be a part of the debate, and they're about to hit the threshold. Like they're like 1 week before you can hit the threshold. So if you don't have it, I think we just hit it. So there's probably going to be like 15 of them. But still, it's like, golly, man, it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be an all-out war.
And I think that when it comes down to it, the most extreme one is gonna be the one that like makes it out on top.
That's what it seems like, right?
Yeah, I think it's not like if you're not gonna get anywhere if you're normal.
Yeah, you have to be the
Like, I'm the sane, normal, like not trying to step on anybody's toes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no, like we need somebody that goes in there and they say some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And they talk some mad shit on Trump, but they also like bring some like crazy
They have to bring the
like plans that are just like mind-blowing plans. Like, what? I never even thought about that. That's crazy. And then that's what's going to be.
They
like,
have to be just as extreme as Trump on the opposite spectrum.
Exactly.
And
And that's what everybody's terrified of.
That's why Joe Biden's getting dragged right now, because he's considerably moderate
Right.
as far as Democrats go.
Right, exactly.
And they're just like, nah.
Yeah, they're like, nah, dude. Isn't he? Like, he's polling like pretty high, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't think he's going anywhere.
I think it's just because he's like the safest option.
And honestly, like it's very strange with the Bernie Sanders thing, because back then, like when he was going against Hillary, it's like
the energy was different.
The energy was like crazy. Like he had so much energy behind him. But now
I don't know what's going on right now.
But see, then the thing is like the energy is not the same. But it's I feel like it's concentrated, because I feel like I've heard his interviews, and I've heard Elizabeth Warren, who I was a big fan of back then, because I wanted her to run with him. But his energy is like, it's not the same, but it's just like, we know you.
Yeah.
You know, like we wanted you a long time ago. Like we've been there. We've been there with you. And if he comes with that same thing, you know, it doesn't matter if like people are all like, oh, let's get Bernie Sanders tattoos, let's do all this, you know, and be all crazy and everything. If he comes with that same, you know, the same ideas and does the same thing, I feel like we'll just throw our support behind him again. You know,
I feel that,
because it's just like when you look at all the other things, like, especially like when he gets into the debates, that's when he's going to shine, I think, because it's going to be like what I was talking about with nostalgia. We're going to have like a nostalgia for him. And when we don't have nostalgia for anybody else except for Joe Biden, Joe Biden's going to bore us.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? and not only that, but Joe Biden's been like I'm not on the side where it's like, oh, he's a fucking creep, you know, but I mean, he's just a weird grandpa that I know. I know that grandpa. You know, I know a lot of those grandpas that are just like that. They're just they don't really know what's they don't even know what year it is, you know, let alone what's right and what's wrong. They're still back in the 60s and 70s, you know, what was right and what was wrong. So but yeah, I think he'll stand out.
You think Bernie on the comeback?
I think Bernie will be on the comeback, but I don't know. There's some weird ones,
I
like
can see that, yeah.
The Yang Gang.
Yang Gang, hashtag Yang Gang.
It's so funny to me.
Yeah.
He's like has some crazy ideas though. He's like pretty extreme about his ideas.
He is pretty extreme.
And
I don't know if I've heard people. He's made some good points, but then I've heard people like commentate on his points, and they're like, "Well, he's kind of using scare tactics, because you don't really know how soon automation is going to hit. Like it could be 10 years, it could be in 30 years. Like
right." I mean, you have there's a lot of different elements, because I mean, like Elizabeth Warren's going to bring her. I feel like she's going to get I think that she's gonna get an edge on some people because she supports reparations, and show. I think she's the only one who supports it. So
Interesting.
something like that is going to give her a big edge in what's going on. And not only that, but her talk about the taxes on like Amazon and companies like that. That's been like a really like.
Do you understand how they avoid that? The tax loopholes? Like, how do businesses avoid that? Because they're not.
I think it's because they house stores, but they aren't a store. They don't consider themselves like they're just like, it's kind of like, it's like YouTube, right? Like, oh, we're the platform that is to host these sites, these pages, and these items or whatever. We're just the platform. They can do whatever they want, right? And so, but they want to blame YouTube for like some crazy white supremacist or something like that, right?
Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, but see, it's the same thing with Amazon. They've found this loophole where I could be wrong about this. Like, I don't know a whole lot about business, but from what I've heard, that's what it is. It's like they're getting away with it because they're basically like using people as like small businesses and stores and stuff like that as like leverage, I guess you could say. I don't know.
Interesting.
Hassan Piker, I think that's it. Hassan Piker.
That sounds familiar.
He has that show called The Patriot Act on Netflix, and he talks about it. And I'm like probably bastardizing the explanation for it, but you watch that episode on Amazon, and like it's really good.
Nice.
It's really good. He explains it pretty well, but apparently not well enough. If I'm completely wrong, and he didn't explain it very well. But
yeah, that's definitely interesting. It'll be fun to see this next election how that goes. Yeah, I feel like we're never gonna have a normal election ever again.
No,
I guess now.
So. I don't think, and I think
the floodgates
it's because
opened.
of the internet. It's because of the internet.
Yeah, Twitter's like no president can ever like go without a Twitter now.
I just the internet really scares me in a lot of ways because I've seen, like I said, I was on AOL, when I was a kid, and I've seen it in its, infancy, and to see what it is now, it's really just, it's taken a toll on, I think, like the whole world.
Yeah.
It's really like a bad toll. I feel like it's taken a bad toll. I feel like if I could go back, like I don't know if I would want it, because it's created this culture where, like you said, like we were talking about earlier, of anonymity, and that's what birthed things like Donald Trump, and
yeah, definitely.
That's what birthed, support for something like that. Is because of the internet. I feel it's all because of the internet. Stuff like that is all because of the internet, because people can be manipulated in so many different ways now. Like back in the day, I was watching Mad Men. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
Yeah, good show.
They were talking about advertisements and and how the effects of advertisements and some of the stuff that they would do to manipulate people and subliminal messages and stuff like that. That's nothing. That's it. That is a drop in the ocean.
Yeah, that's pretty innocent compared to
of what it is now.
Compared to like memes on social media.
Well, it's not even about just necessarily like memes. I mean, yeah memes can be manipulative too, right? Make a picture and you say some false information or whatever and make it look believable. It's like, oh, well, I believe this because I saw this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so, but just not even just that, but like the influence that when we talk about Russia meddling in an election with their ads on Facebook and things of that sort, it's I mean, like people who don't believe about that or whatever just don't know anything about the internet. Like that's completely plausible. I can do that right now.
Absolutely.
I can manipulate the shit out of people.
I know China's been doing that a long time.
In fact, I do it right now with my music. I manipulate the people. No, but yeah. China. It's, it doesn't matter who you are. Like you can, if you have access to the internet, you can put any kind of propaganda you want. Yeah. Like
in the United States, our military, our special operations goes into foreign countries and puts up their own type of I don't want to call it propaganda because they could have good intentions,
Right.
but it's still we're putting out our own message
Right.
into
And
their
honestly,
space.
honestly, K-pop is propaganda. I don't know if that's just a conspiracy. No, there is actually a documentary about that, about how they make Korea look, and they make it look like it's like this great place, and there's nothing bad going on. And they have all these pretty music videos, and they put up a front with all these pretty stars and everything. They make it sound glorious or whatever. But like the human trafficking that goes on, the sex trafficking that goes on in Korea is insane.
Really, South Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a documentary about it. I saw it, and I was at a draft house in Austin, and they had a trailer for it. I was like, no fucking way.
Damn.
I can't remember what it's called. I need to watch it. But they were talking about they were showing like clips of K-pop artists and stuff like that, and how it's all pretty and everything, and the I've heard actually stories about the working conditions that they put into their shows. Like they'll have the actors of these like drama shows or whatever, like on set for like 16, 18 hours a day.
Wow.
Like working tirelessly because they're trying to because they have to release a new episode. I think it's like the amount of episodes that they have to record basically is like insane. Like for these shows, like I think they like I think it's like a soap opera style, like where it's like every day or it's like it's every week, but they have to keep up with it. Like
That's crazy.
It's not like they would just record the whole thing, right? No, it's like we have an episode that we need to air next week. We need to film that right now.
Yeah.
And so the time structure that they have is like it's insane.
So it's just like we don't have time to wait. Go.
We don't have to. Yeah, exactly. And so this is there all day, all the time. You know? And yeah, and then not only that, but they get into more details about like how while these episodes are airing, they'll see like fan reactions and see like what they think about the characters. Like let's say like, oh, like I feel like this person should be with this person or whatever, and they'll change the show on the fly.
That's interesting. Like
to
just like
give
Sonic.
them service, basically.
Wow. Yeah.
Like on
Black
a
Mirror
weekly
had an
basis,
episode
and
like
so they
that.
become jumbled messes because it's just like you don't know the intentions of any characters
Yeah,
anymore
like
because
you
the
can't-
plot changes and
You can't follow a consistent plot.
yeah, it's very sporadic and just it's chaos.
That's interesting.
But they're so obsessed with their image that's what it's all about. So they don't care. They don't care who they put through hell to get it. So
I feel that. Well, we are 2:21 in. We can go ahead and wrap it up.
let's wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. So just let everyone know where they can find you. Any upcoming dates you have performing, any upcoming songs they need to look out for, any music videos, or anything you're doing in your life. What do you want to plug?
You can follow me on Instagram at Shinigama, Shinigamaa. That is 2 A's.
Two A's.
Shinigama. And then Facebook is the same thing. It's facebook.com/Shinigama with 2 A's. And what else am I on? Don't really care about Twitter, but I have 3 A's in that one. And I think that's about it. You can check out my TikTok.
No, yeah. I need to get on TikTok.
I need to
man.
get on it. But I also have
on there.
a music video. It was teased at the end of Take It Back. It's called Blue Flame. That should be out July 1st. I just haven't started really getting that advertised yet, but that's coming. And then shows June 23rd, and then playing Lovestock on June 29th at Tease Bar.
Hey, I'll be at Zombies Bar.
Hey.
We got Yellow City showing up too. That's cool. I didn't know you were on Lovestock. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a jumbled mess. I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't. They want us to perform inside while bands are performing outside. We're gonna perform between bands. Sounds like a disaster.
That
But
sounds like a disaster.
complete
yeah.
disaster. But
I think
for
me
it.
and Impresario guys we're gonna be doing sound for it, for Tease Bar. So
Nice.
because I hate their sound system. Sorry if anybody from there is listening right now, but it's
shout out to Tristan,
We need Tristan. It's time to upgrade. Let's upgrade it.
Michael Jordan. He's probably not listening.
Like the Michael Jordan? Is he involved?
No. He might be. Just come to visit random Texas towns and help their sound systems. That's his secret hobby. All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on. It's been a great podcast. Had a great conversation.
Yes.
It's kind of my purpose is to get like people on who like are just pursuing something big, or like people that inspire me, people that I enjoy talking to. This is a great episode. We went a lot of directions, and it was great. Good time.
It was very fun.
Appreciate it.
Yep. All right. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. We'll keep you as a continuing guest. I said we as if there's someone else here.
We. Has it been two people talking this entire time?
Just me and my alter ego.